And also there's volatility within this year's numbers. Someone had Chris Jones 1, someone had him 10. I mean, there's a lot of variance there.
That's it. I think Chris Jones is a victim of, hey, I saw that Jacksonville game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not putting this guy in my top 10. Or I'm not putting this guy in my top 5. And so I think when you make those kind of plays, I think when you're evaluating somebody else, you'll make excuses for your own guy. But when it's somebody else's guy, you're like, that guy's not trying hard. I'm not putting him top 5.
And the guy
somebody whose motor doesn't stop.
The guy right behind him, Derek Brown at Carolina, highest ranked. Someone ranked him 1. Someone, the lowest, was unranked. He had guys didn't put him in the top 10. Somebody had him 1. So it's hard to dig too far into those numbers and figure out exactly what each guy's numbers mean, other than the fact that there's a lot of separation on what people that know football think about the top 10 players at that position or any position.
Excuse me. Coughing. You can hear. Trying to get
it's the dry
water
air
open here. It actually is, and it does bother me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But anyway, yes, I mean, volatility, differences of opinions. And to your point about the edge and the corner position, I mean, are there any candidates to be on the list of top 10? Like, I think the most disappointing thing, if you're looking at it, is that they just gave $100+ million to George Karlaftis. Now, I think the contract is going to age really, really well, and I think he's going to be very fairly compensated. It's a great contract for him to sign. But George Karlaftis is the guy that's been around long enough that you're thinking, like, okay, if anyone's going to crack this list, it's going to be him. Ashton Gelati's got 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
None of the rookies are on this list. So you can't look to, when we talk about D-tackles, Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas, they weren't going to be on these lists. So, for me, like, I didn't expect them to be there, and they're not there.
Yeah.
Right? But I think there are candidates to get there. We don't know what we're going to see out of R. Mason Thomas. Is he going to end up being the next great speed rusher? I don't know, but we know there's some promise there. Ashton Gelati will grow. I don't see a guy that's going to be a top 10 list guy there. But George Karlaftis, I mean, this is about the time where Trey Hendrickson went to the next level.
Yep.
And, I'm not going to predict that he's going to become Trey Hendrickson, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think he'd be out of the realm of possibility. And I think some of these guys just overreact to 1 year. Obviously, if you go from unranked to like 5,
yeah,
like, come on, what are we doing here, guys?
Exactly. Yeah, they ranked 19 guys on the or 19 different edge rushers receive votes, and Karlaftis wasn't one of them. I would have expected someone would have put him on there, but
I think it speaks to. I think there's probably a little bit of the overall performance of the defense.
Yeah,
carries weight.
Yep.
And this defense was very good. Now you drill down to the DVOA numbers. Like, part of the reason they were very good is they didn't play that many snaps because the offense took forever on the field. And they did back up a little bit this year. And I think just the overall record made it harder to put Chiefs on there. It's easy to put a whole bunch of Chiefs on there when they're Super Bowl champs. Oh, of course they have the best center. Yeah, they have the best guard. Yeah, I mean, they're the champs. Yeah, that's easy. Going out and putting a whole bunch of guys out there when you go 6-11, I think just by its very nature has you any benefit of the doubt goes the other way when you go 6-11.
Yep, I'm looking at the what's coming up, tight ends tomorrow. So the weekend will be interesting. Offensive tackles on Saturday, interior offensive linemen on Sunday, and they'll get a little deeper next week. But over the weekend should be interesting to see where they put the Chiefs' front starting 5 offensive linemen in this.
They're going to get Travis Kelce's going to get some place in the tight ends, not number 1.
Yeah,
and then they're not going to get an offensive tackle.
Nope.
Simmons being hurt, he might have got honorable mention or something like that, but he's not going to get that because he was hurt. And then they're going to get a center and a guard.
Creed will be.
They're going to get Creed and Trey Smith.
1 or 2.
Yeah. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Same.
Creed will be 1. Creed will be 1 or 2, and Trey Smith will be like 8 or 9 or 10.
Yep.
That'd be or honorable mention.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen. I'll say this: if they're holding a Lombardi Trophy, right? If they're holding the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year, well, next year, who would be added to this list? Like if they hold a Lombardi Trophy, Mansour Delane will be in the top 10 list of corners.
Yep.
And
Josh Simmons,
somebody else from the D line, either Peter Woods Oh, yeah, maybe Josh Simmons. We'll see. I mean, theoretically, he could be listed because he hadn't come out yet. But I'm just talking about what we know so far.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe Rashee Rice has a breakout year. I think Rashee Rice is going to be what Rashee Rice is, which is good, but not great and a pain in the ass. But I think Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas and George Karlaftis are the guys that have a chance to rewrite the narrative on this top 10 list for the Chiefs. And if they're holding a trophy, some of those guys are going to have to be on this list. Somebody's going to have to really step up and emerge and play well the way that a lot of those defensive backs did in 2022. All right, we got a lot coming your way today here in the program. We're going to take a break. We're at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe. When we come back, we are going to be joined. We're planning to be joined by one Rob Riggle. That's next here in the program.
With Soren Petro.
Dumbass.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen, the only place to go if you're in need of a vehicle is Roberts Robinson Chevrolet GMC in Excelsior Springs. The savings just keep coming. Right now, you can get special employee pricing for everyone on select 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s. Plus, qualified buyers can get 0% APR on new 26 Chevy Silverado pickups. Think about that. 0% APR is going to save you a lot of money if you're thinking about getting a new truck later this year or next year. This kind of savings is the kind of thing that might make you say, let's go right now. It won't last forever. Need an SUV? Drive home a new Chevy Equinox. 0% APR for 60 months and no payments for 90 days. The deals are hot right now at Robert Robinson, and they're offering top dollar for your used vehicle. They always do that. No messing around. Right away, you get the best deal. They know that your time is important, and they want to take care of you. Browse more than 150 new and pre-owned vehicles today at robertsrobinson.com. Service customers, yes, military members and first responders receive 10% off parts and labor, while seniors age 60 and older get 10% off every Tuesday and Thursday. So take advantage of those special discounts when it comes to your service. Their service team is the best in Kansas City. They've got masterclass and world-class technicians right there at Roberts Robinson. So you're always getting the best job done and the best customer service. You'll see for yourself, whether it's Tim in sales, whether it's Jordan in finance, whether it's Robbie right there in service, they will take care of you like they're one of your own because they're Kansas City people, locally owned and operated. That's Roberts Robinson. And don't settle for any ordinary warranty. Roberts Robinson includes a free lifetime powertrain warranty on every new vehicle, covering your engine, transmission, drive axle, and more for as long as you own it. They are there for you on the lot, when you leave the lot, and years down the road. Take advantage of it right now. Go to robertsrobinson.com. That's robertsrobinson.com.
2, 3, 4 times in the middle of the night, I was waking up that much to go to the bathroom myself before I went to Meva Medical. This is Jeff Montgomery. I was not getting enough sleep. Then I met Dr. Brown at Meva Medical. He told me about their minimally invasive treatment for an enlarged prostate. It was a quick and easy procedure covered by insurance. And now I get the quality sleep I wanted. If this sounds like something you need, visit Meva Medical and take care of yourself. MIVA-medical.com.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this. Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Get a hot deal on a new Buick at Robert Brogdon's Olathe Buick GMC. All models feature 0.9% APR, including the fuel-efficient Encore GX and Invista. Shop their huge selection at robertbrogdon.com. Must finance your GMF 36-month term.
In beautiful Lake Tahoe, our coverage brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things paving is what it is, Rob. That's what it is. GannAsphalt.com. GannAsphalt.com.
God bless them over at Gann Asphalt.
Yeah, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. They're the best. You need any curbing done?
I'm thinking about
How about some signage?
I'm not kidding.
Seal coating? What do you got going on? Rob Riggle's with us.
I want to take my gravel driveway. I might pave that sucker down.
There you go.
So I might have to call these guys.
Okay. I'll hook you up. I know some people. I can make it happen. How are you, Rob?
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm sitting in Lake Tahoe watching guys who aren't that good at golf, you know, give it a go.
I'm watching a lot of amateur golfers, myself included. They don't come out here for the golf. I learned that early. They could care less how I play.
Yeah.
They just want to see me go for it.
Yeah.
Like if there's danger, if there's water up ahead, my caddy's going, "Come on, man, be smart. You know you can't make that." Yeah. And I'm like, "Give me the lumber." Yeah, I know what they came to see.
You've got the equipment. Your buddies, right? We talked at the Super Bowl with
PXG.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They've been amazing.
So it's not their fault.
No,
we want to be clear.
Gosh, no. It's not the arrow. It's the archer, as they say. So it's. No, I love coming out here. I mean, it's so beautiful. You can see. I mean, I wish they could see what we see. It's mountains and blue sky, and the lake right behind us is just blue and beautiful. And then it is like a summer camp because you come back here and you see all people that you only see once a year. Usually,
right.
It's right out here.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to reconnect, and then hopefully get to play with people you've never played with before. So,
but you make some friendships, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask? I mean, you can just go like this, and I'll edit it out.
Yeah.
But you were at the wedding, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah,
I was
that
honored to be asked.
Yeah. I mean, Travis is usually out here. Uh-huh. You know, that probably being out here helped that friendship along, and you got the invite.
Well, I knew Travis way back in the day. I had him on my podcast. Back in like 2014. like way back in the day. So,
so you got him in here.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but no, I've been lucky enough to know Travis for a long time, and he's always been such a great guy. And he's, he was coming. I asked him to come to Big Slick many years ago, and he did. And he always shows up whenever he's available, and he always does such a great job. And so no, he's a wonderful guy, and I was honored to be invited.
Now I heard that everyone who attended had to sign non-disclosure agreements. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we did, but that was, leading up to the event.
Okay.
So
you can talk about it? How was it?
I think I can. I didn't read too deep into it, so I'm going to stay generic on it. But
never read what you sign. Just sign away.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part was just because they didn't want us to talk about where.
Yeah.
They didn't want us to, months in advance, and they didn't, so
it was very, very inconspicuous.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, eventually, you have to start showing some things. You have to, eventually you get called and you got to lay down your cards at some point.
Yes.
And so that's what started happening there at the end. But I, when I was in the Marines, I had a top secret with a skiff clearance. When somebody tells me to shut up, I shut up.
Yeah, yeah. Just listen, keep your mouth shut. You don't need to tell everybody everything you know.
That's right.
Even if they don't ask you, don't say anything. But especially if they say don't say anything,
that's right.
Shut up.
That's right.
I love the people who are like, we got a guy who comes on the show, who'll remain nameless, Frank Bull, who will tell you, like I remember, like, hey, Frank, why'd you say it? I said don't say anything. He goes, well, I just told so-and-so.
That doesn't help. What are you doing?
If I wanted so-and-so to know, I would have told so-and-so.
Exactly.
I
would have said it's okay to tell so-and-so.
Frank has said in the past, he's like, I can't keep a secret, so don't tell me. Just don't tell me. I'm like, well, at least you're honest.
Yeah.
Right? At least you're honest about it.
Yeah. So I'll just say it was beautiful.
Okay.
It was really nice, and it was really nice to see those two so happy. So I'll just leave it at that.
That's great. That's great. So a lot of fun then was had by all.
Yeah,
and Travis is not here. He's on some fabulous honeymoon.
I hope so. I hope he's having the time of his life right now.
I was really shocked when I heard they were flying coach where they were going. That stunned me. Does that surprise you?
I don't. Yes. Yes, it does. Especially for the honeymoon.
I'm sure it's a fabulous vacation, and that'll be great.
Yeah.
Wish them all the best.
Yeah,
and then he's got to come back and get to work. Right? It's football. It's go time.
It's absolutely. I mean, we're in July. August is knocking on heaven's door.
That's right.
And I, as always, love my team.
Yeah.
And I love this team that the next chapter here, the new look.
Well, we're all quite optimistic. We like a lot of the moves.
I love the moves.
Could have been a couple of more, but that's the reality of no roster is 100% what you want it to be.
You never get your full Christmas list.
That's right.
So be happy. Focus on what we have.
Yeah.
And what we have is a lot of special. A lot of really cool special. Let's get excited about that, because if they can bring it together, if we can stay healthy, I'm saying the obvious, but if we can bring it together and stay healthy, I love us.
Yeah,
I love us this year.
I running the ball should set up the passing. They should be in good shape. I'm curious. Does the rest of Hollywood get tired of you KC guys squawking your Chief stuff? And do you wear out some people? Because there's a lot of you guys out there, with all you big slick guys, Rudd and Sudeikis and Stone Street
and Gardner, Heidi.
Yeah, Heidi Gardner. Yeah. I mean, do they get tired of like how did all of these KC people come out here and invade us?
Yeah, I don't care. If they like it or if they don't like it.
By the way, if you're watching on the video feed, you saw the look that came with that, which made the joke even better. The look was classic. That's big time acting, is what. Let
me tell you, I went to my first Chiefs game at Arrowhead in 1975.
Okay.
I have been true red my whole life.
Yes.
This past decade has been the culmination of a hard life.
Oh, yeah.
A heartbreaking Chiefs fandom. And so at this point, I don't care what anybody thinks or says. Buffalo can, they pout and they cry to me every time I run into a Buffalo fan. They want to tell me how much. And I just go, okay, I got you. I hear you. And I wish you the best, but not against the Chiefs.
Not against us. Like you had your window last year. Like the Chiefs had their problems.
You had a path.
There it was.
You didn't take it. Not my fault.
Yeah.
We'll see you this year.
Yeah, I agree. So what are you feeling then for a record?
I always like to hover around a good, healthy 13-4.
Okay.
Because and those four losses have got to be strategic. They got to be strategic. Yeah. To remind the team that, hey, don't get cocky.
Yeah.
Don't get you got to show up it's strategic. It's got to be strategic. You don't want to lose 4 out of the gates because forget it. But I think a 13-4 is a good, healthy record going into the playoffs.
I like it.
Yeah.
What do you got? What are you working on? We got some films coming out.
Yeah, I got.
You got a streaming show. Everyone's got a streaming show.
Well, I've got a podcast.
Are you the only guy not being paid by Apple?
No, I don't have a streaming show. I have a podcast.
Okay.
That I do with Darren Leader, who is an amazing musician and now lives in Kansas City as well.
Okay.
And is a total stud. Great golfer.
Okay.
Like a real stick. Like he says he's about a 3. He's a scratch.
Okay.
But he's always trying to get strokes from me.
Okay.
And I hope this airs, and I hope he sees it.
Okay. Good.
Because I'm basically dropping a challenge. So I do a podcast with him. It's a lot of fun. It's called Wriggles Picks. And you can find that wherever you find podcasts. I have a couple movies coming out this fall. And one of them we shot in Kansas City. It's going to premiere in Kansas City.
Okay.
On September 8th. We're going to have the big premiere, I think, at the Midland. I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be nice. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope people come out for it. It's James Murr.
Yeah, Murr.
From Impractical Jokers. Mm-hmm. He is a wonderful novelist. He actually writes a lot of books. He has a lot of best-selling books. People don't know this. And one of them we turned into a movie called Don't Move.
Okay.
And it was funny because he was at the Big Slick because I had done Impractical Jokers, and I invited him to the Big Slick. He came. He loved Kansas City so much that that's where he decided to make the film.
Really?
Yeah. And then
we're talking about he's a true New Yorker. I mean, all those guys grew up in New York, and
absolutely,
you meet anybody from New York that you think no other city in the world existed the way they act about it. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but he fell in love with Kansas City, and so that's why we got to film it there. So that one's coming out September 8th. I have another one coming out, I believe October 30th, called Christmas at the Kringles. It's kind of a horror comedy type thing. Should be fun. That has like Ron Livingston and Tom Lennon and Rachel Bilson. There's a lot of fun cast.
Are you a Kringle?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm more of a drunk mall Santa, which would be a lot of fun. And then
not much of a stretch, though.
I mean, it's the holidays. What are you going to do? And then I have a movie called Jimmy, which is a Jimmy Stewart biopic.
Oh, wow.
And that comes out on November 4th. It premieres down in Fort Worth, Texas, actually. But I'm excited for that one. I think I think that will be a great movie. So excited for that. So this fall, we got some films coming out, and I got a couple in the can that should come out in early 27. And, I'm just doing what every other actor in this town's doing, trying to find work, and then grateful when you find it. And
it's not really like that now, is it?
It is. It's
now
terrible.
It's about what you can find.
Our industry is upside down. It really is. And
in what way?
It's just tricky. The old paradigm. You kind of knew where you existed in the ecosystem. And now that's been turned upside down and kind of run through a paper shredder. And so everybody's kind of like, well, wait a minute. When is pilot season? When is TV? Who's making this show? Where is it? What's that? What's the platform called? I've never even heard of it. What are the verticals? Like all of a sudden they're like, it's this whole new Wild West. And so where you thought, like everybody knew how to get paid. Producers knew how to get paid. Directors knew how to get paid. Studios, networks, actors, writers, everybody in that ecosystem knew kind of where their footing was. It's gone. Okay. And so, you kind of eat what you kill, so you got to be hunting all the time.
Yeah.
It's just it's a little different world. And obviously any change or anything that's unknown, all these X factors takes the anxiety level up just a hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay.
It's but I've been blessed enough to land some work, and I'll keep hooking and jabbing as long as I can.
Not a bad gig for a Marine.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
By the way, once a Marine, always a Marine.
There you go.
Not a former Marine, a Marine.
That's right.
I'm aware of how that works. We're talking to Rob Riggle here in the program. My final four quickies for you, Rob.
Yeah, okay.
Let's start with this. What is this pattern on the shirt there? I'm trying to.
Oh, it's it looks like a stick figure, but he's playing golf. He's tinting the flag. He's teeing up.
Oh, it's okay.
He's putting. It's a little stick figure.
I couldn't tell if there was one. I was like, is that are they playing leapfrog there, or what's going on there? But no, it's legit.
It's legit.
Okay. Number two, where would you put yourself on golf fashion on the scale out here? Because the hat, you get the PXG hat with the stars.
Yeah, let me break it down into thirds. I'm top third.
Top third. Okay.
Top third.
Good.
The field is 90. I'm in the top 30.
Top 30?
I mean, okay. I'm going to give myself that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think this is a good look. I'm impressed.
I'm going to own that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what's your favorite Murr episode of Impractical Jokers? I have one that's my favorite. My family
when
is
they oiled him up and he had to go sit in front of his childhood crush.
Yes.
Who was she played help me with the character on Wonder Years.
She played hold on.
She was the love interest on Wonder Years.
Yeah, we'll edit this to
was
make
it Wendy?
It look like
No, that was Wendy Peppercorn. That's from
No. But you're close.
That's from Sandlot. That's from Sandlot.
Here, Wonder Years girl. That'll get me there.
Who was the girl on Wonder Years?
Her real name is Danica McKellar. She played Winnie Cooper.
Winnie. I had a W right. It was Winnie.
Yeah,
Winnie
I knew you were right.
Winnie Cooper.
She played Winnie Cooper.
When he had to go interview her in a Speedo all oiled up. And he had no idea it was coming. I mean, so mortifying.
Yeah.
My heart, I felt it.
First of all, they make me so nervous watching the show with the things that they do. And they told him his punishment was to go out and be in a bodybuilding contest.
Yes.
And he's not a big guy. He's not a fat ass
No.
or anything, but he's not a big guy.
Yeah.
And so he's all oiled up in this American flag Speedo.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's going to walk out on a stage, and then there she is sitting there.
Yeah.
And
just the adrenaline rush
yeah.
that must have gone through his body, the flush his face was like, that's just killer. It made me. I slithered out of my chair and fell to the floor when I saw that.
It was.
But that's what makes that show so much fun. I love those guys, and I love that show. They're just hilarious. My favorite also, now just general episode, general sketch or bit.
Okay.
One of the bits they did was when they had to sit in a motor scooter, like a Jazzy, right? But the other guys got to drive it. Do you remember this? They were in this outdoor mall, and they're down in Florida somewhere. And so he's on a Jazzy, but he's not driving it.
The other
guy's driving. So they're here running into people and chasing people, and they had to sit there and not say anything and just kind of, it was. I could watch that for 10 more hours.
I'm gonna have to find that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find that one. That's great. And then finally, who wins this tournament?
Well, I would say
I'm gonna set you aside.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Not let you.
I'm gonna take myself out.
Yeah.
Boy, that is a good one because it's usually the same cast of characters.
Yeah.
It's usually going to be Steph Curry's in the conversation. Obviously, Marty Fish is in the conversation. Schmaltz is going to be in that conversation. Mulder's going to be in that conversation. The guy who won it last year, the hockey player, Pav. Why am I blanking on his name?
Pavelski.
Pavelski. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go. Got to be in the conversation. So.
Okay.
It's those guys.
Okay.
Now, you want some good action. Go ahead and bet on Wriggle.
Yeah.
I'm at 5,000 to 1.
5,000. That's a big return.
That's a huge return on investment.
So if you get hot, sneaky hot for 3 days,
here's the scenario when
I'm ready to retire if I could put a couple grand on that.
Here's the scenario for me winning. All the leaders go out. All the guys I just mentioned. Okay, and they get food poisoning. Okay,
yeah.
And then the rest, everybody else somehow gets sick.
Number one,
and I don't wish this on any of them.
But if you had some friends and you could pull it off,
I mean, come on, what are we talking about here? What am I asking for? So the best I've ever finished in this thing, and this is I think my 12th year.
Okay,
the best I've ever finished in this is 55th.
Okay.
And that's out of a field of 90.
Yeah.
It averages 90. It can be 90 to 95 players, but on average. And usually I end up in the mid-60s.
Okay.
That's where I fall almost every year. Because this course is hard, and everybody screaming at you doesn't help. And there's no mercy. And, it's a Stapleford. So, you get that double bogey. You're in your pocket. You're done with the hole, and it's +2.
Yeah. And
it takes 2 pars to undo that one double bogey.
Yep.
And par out here is hard.
Yeah.
You get a par, you should celebrate. So, my goal this year is to finish in the 50s somewhere.
Let's crack 50. Let's go 49.
I don't know if you can make specific action bets, but I'm gonna.
Okay.
If I'm 5,000 to 1 to win it, I mean I got to be at least 1,000 to 1. Right, or 500 to 1 to make the be 55.
Yeah, 55. Yeah, I like that.
So I don't know. That's where I'm gonna put my action. I'm gonna put $5 on myself. That's how much I believe in myself.
As you should. Show them. Walk up there with pride. Slap it down with a hard slap.
Oh yeah, it'll be a crisp $5 bill. It'll be crisp.
Rob, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Enjoy your weekend.
Awesome, man. Good to see you.
The program with Soren Petro.
I have a giant man crush on Vinny Pasquantino.
Welcome back here on the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB as we broadcast from beautiful Lake Tahoe, Nevada, the American Century Championships. Our coverage brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete for more than 30 years. One contractor, all things paving. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com. We are pleased to be joined by Trey Wingo. Man about the modern broadcaster, podcaster, man about town.
Sure.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on, and what a place to be here, right? This is just the best place on earth right now.
It doesn't get any better. The scenery's fantastic. The way American Century and NBC and everybody comes together to run it is phenomenal. There are tougher ways to spend your day.
Yeah, I've had worse Tuesdays in July. Or is it Wednesday? And it's Wednesday. I mean, whatever. They all run together. A day that ends in Y in July. I'm doing well.
They do. What all you got going on right now? Tell me. Give people the plugs.
Yeah, no, we're good. I appreciate that. We've got the Trey Wingo Network on my YouTube channel, as well as Trey Wingo Golf. We're about to launch a brand new football show called Inside Football with a bunch of former GMs and coaches and a couple of Hall of Fame players. Really excited about that. We've got a lot of golf content we do. We do a Tuesday Golf Live show that streams on X, Facebook, and Twitter every Tuesday at 4 o'clock with my friend Justin Ray, who's just been named the lead data analyst for the Ryder Cup team in 2027. Okay. I've known him forever. I call him the Tiger Woods of golf researchers. So we're just out there plugging away and having a really good time.
So there's data in golf now. Like my buddy's Eric Eager's the head of data for the Panthers now.
Yeah.
And you know, I get it with all but golf, what do we spin rate on the ball?
Well, it's not only that. It's like for example, Justin has done a lot of work with the LPGA and the Solheim Cup. And in the last two Solheim Cups before he got there, they couldn't win an alternate shot match to save their lives. Since he got there and sort of plugged in what he thinks works and why it works, they've basically almost been undefeated in the last two Solheim Cups and alternate shot. And clearly alternate shot is a huge problem for the U.S. Ryder Cup team. So Jim Furyk, the captain, who's a friend of mine, they had an introduction, and about 2 weeks later, Justin was named as the chief data analyst for the U.S. Ryder Cup team. So we're really happy about that.
I'm happy about that because I'm going to tell you, we had a big remote at Nick and Jake's. We were all excited for it. And before I could even get on the air at 2 o'clock Central Time,
it was over. Yeah, it was tough. Now, they made a good rally on Sunday, but it was just impossible to come back from that.
Too little, too late.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So I'm looking forward to that. You know what it did get me, though? It got me a Ryder Cup hat.
There you go.
So, like, for the World Cup coming, I needed a USA hat. And then, 4th of July, if you want to wear a hat, you need a good. I got the Ryder Cup hat, and I got it for like $12 because nobody wanted to buy that because it went so bad. I'm like, I don't care. I'll take it. It says USA on it. So it did get me a cheap hat.
It's so funny. I had a couple of things sent to me, USA Ryder Cup stuff, and I did wear it. I did wear it for the soccer up until the game against Belgium. So.
All right. Like mine. I like that. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like, the losing team gear that gets shipped overseas or something. Yeah. Send it my way.
There's a lot of kids in Angola and Africa running around with shirts that say, Patriots Super Bowl 42 champs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Love it. Hey, what do you think of our Kansas City Chiefs and their ability to bounce back this year?
I do find it somewhat comical how quickly so many people are willing to just throw dirt on the grave of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm like, okay, do this at your own peril. Is the division tougher? Yes. Was it tougher a few years ago when the quarterbacks were Derek Carr and Russell Wilson in the division? And, everyone was talking about, this is going to be really difficult for them. And they went on to, 14-3 that year and won the Super Bowl 57, I think it was. And that was the first year without Tyreek. Look, a lot of things went horribly wrong last year for Kansas City. Not only injury-wise, but anyone will tell you, if they've been in this game long enough, to go to 3 straight Super Bowls, win 2 of them, have all the success you've had, mentally it is difficult to get up for a Thursday night game in October.
Yeah.
And September. And people could say, well, that's BS, and, there's only 17 games. That's true, but the other thing is also true. And, look at the Chris Jones effort on that Monday night game against Jacksonville on the goal line stand.
I'd prefer not to.
Yeah, but he never would have done that before. Like, at some point you realize, okay, these games aren't as significant, and you tend to take things for granted. So I think in many ways the best possible thing that could have happened to Kansas City was for them to be denied access to the party. And they're like, no. This is where we belong. This is where we should be. And I think that that's going to have a positive impact on them this season, and I firmly expect Patrick to be there week one. There's never been a situation where he hasn't been a really quick recoverer of an injury. What, he missed 2 games with a dislocated kneecap that year? I just, you can bury him all you want, but I haven't seen anybody in that division show me championship mettle the way the Chiefs had over a 5-year run, or 5 out of 7. I think things are very bright in Kansas City.
Would it have been different when you speak about the rest of the division if Bo Nix doesn't go down? Do you think the Broncos were playing in that Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, I did it on our YouTube channel and on Straight Facts Only. I had a long conversation with Sean, which dropped about a month ago. I was like, how much do you think about not going for the field goal, knowing the weather that was coming and knowing you're playing a backup quarterback against a really good defense? And he said, I think about it all the time. You know, that there's a sort of a degree of ridiculousness that has been implanted in the NFL head coaching cycle about the disdain for field goals. And I get it. It's from Dan Campbell, and, you know, and then Ben Johnson took that from Dan and went to Chicago. Well, if you go look at that playoff loss that they had against the Rams, if they had just kicked field goals in those 2 times in the first half of that game, one in the first half, one I think in the third quarter, well, instead of needing a touchdown to tie, a field goal to win would have won that game for him before it got to where it needed to be. I don't understand. Like, field goals are not the best thing, but they're definitely not the worst thing. And in situations where points are going to be at a premium, take the points. Yeah. And I think Sean thinks about that a lot, and I think he learned from it. I think the Broncos are going to be difficult. Obviously, Jalen Waddle makes them very interesting. They lost some players on defense. But as you guys know, in Kansas City, I think they went 11-1 or 9-1 or 9-2 in one score games last year. Chiefs won, 17 in a row? An NFL record? And didn't win one of those last year. Yeah. You can't rely on that to be the thing that makes you win again and again and again.
Yeah, no, they do it. And I am a big proponent of analytics and all those kind of things and going for it on 4th down. But I always caution the people who every time, when you don't go for it on 4th down, you don't win, you screwed up. That's the fans have that luxury. But I always caution them, it's not just what the data says on whether or not you should or shouldn't. Right. It's what the coach sees when he looks down on that play card. Correct. And if he doesn't have a good one, you don't just go ahead and do it because it says you should do it. And by the way, everyone gets excited about it. It's like, well, 52%, go for it. Yeah, but it's a 2% margin. What if the play sucks by 20%? Well, then it's a definite don't go.
It's not only that, but I had a great conversation with our research department at ESPN years ago. Do you remember the game between the Patriots and the Colts? It was in Indy, and it was 4th and 2, and the Patriots went for it inside their own 35-yard line.
And it blew up on Belichick.
Yeah, and and people are like, well, that was the smart play because 4th and 2, you make that like almost like 67% of the time. And I said, okay. But see, this is the exact example of a number without context, because going forward on 4th and 2 on the road in a primetime game Sunday night against your bitter rival is not the same as going for it in week 1 or week 2, first quarter, 4th and 2 inside your own 30-yard line. Those are different things. We are, as human beings, we are, emotional mammals and emotional animals, and we react very differently to, we got 3 quarters left to play, it's week 1, or holy crap, we're in a playoff race, we're at our place's rival, there's only a minute 30 left in the game. Those things are not the same. I said, give me the data cloud of all the situations of 4th and 2 on the road, there's too many, it doesn't exist. I'm like, exactly. That's what you need. You can't say 4th and 1 from the 29, week 3 at home in the second quarter is the same. They are completely different scenarios.
Also, a lot of the 4th down data is compiled. You can pick your spots. Are we just doing the last 2 years, 5 years? But a lot of it was compiled over years of when the only time people went for it on 4th down was in a game that was, for the most part, lost against a prevent defense. Correct. So the success rate was inflated.
Numbers out of context don't mean anything. Like, not to stir this pot, but people are like, well, LeBron's better than Michael. He has way more points and way more assists. Well, when was it easier to score points? In LeBron's era or in Michael Jordan's era? I mean, like, you would die if you went down the lane in the 80s and 90s. They would literally try and rip your head off. Much harder to score. And, I'm not denigrating LeBron, who, by the way, is doing this to us again. Yeah. Just make up your mind and God bless you. But what Jordan had to do was way more difficult. It was just way more difficult. And so you can't say, well, he scored more points, ergo he's the best. Jordan, I this is my default argument. It's the power of 6 to the fourth power. 6 NBA finals, 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, never got past a game 6. LeBron is 74 years into his career, and he's still chasing those numbers. And his numbers in the finals, albeit those teams weren't as good, I understand that. But at some point, you got to step up and be the fucking dude.
Yeah.
And Jordan did that again and again and again.
Yeah.
Numbers without context don't mean anything.
And I know you're a historian of sports, so the last thing I want to ask you is the number 67, and that's Andy Reid's age.
Yeah.
When do you start worrying about a coach maybe starting to lose his fastball?
You know, I don't think Pete Carroll really lost it.
Marv Levy coached into his 70s and had the Bills in the Super Bowl. I mean,
Andy is still sharp as a tack, and I do think that drafting Patrick has added years to his career. Honestly, I worry more about Andy taking care of himself than I worry about him losing it. He's the sharpest mind in football.
We talked to him on the Monday noon Zoom. He does it by Zoom. And I swear most days I don't think he's been to bed.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it's like, let's break down the tape. Let's do that now. Here's the install, and here we go. And I don't know that you can keep doing that. I think at some point he needs to transition to being more of a CEO.
I agree.
All right, good. There it is. That's what I brought you here for.
There you
was to agree with me. That's what it's all about.
Perfect.
Trey Wingo's with us. Trey, quick, Final Four. 4 quickies, 1 word.
You got it.
All I need is Chiefs' record this year is what?
12-5.
12-5. I'll take it. How many passing yards do you feel for Patrick Mahomes this year?
If he's there all year, 4,300.
4,300. All right. Who wins the World Cup?
France. 3 of the top 5 players in the world are on France's attack.
Yeah, they're impressive.
They're ridiculously good.
And we will never hold you to this, but just your vibe right now. What's the Super Bowl this year?
It's going to be hard to see the Rams not there if they're
good.
And Aaron Donald. I'm telling you, I'd put 60-40. Aaron Donald comes back to play against Myles Garrett.
Okay.
So you put Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett together with that offense that was prolific. They were the only offense that could score against Seattle in the last half of the season. I would say the Rams, and I'm never going to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Never going to do it.
We'll take it. We'll take it. It's the Super Bowl we should have gotten in 2017.
Correct.
Deep Ford, offsides.
Oh, my God.
Killer for us.
The worst.
It's been all right since then. Trey, always great talking to you. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. Enjoy your time here.
You got it, man. Anytime. Thank you.
This end of the hour question is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Happy hour, baseball, soccer, golf, UFC, and that made from scratch menu. All of that with the best scenic views. The best seats are at Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, born on this date, O.J. Simpson. He won the NFL rushing title in 72, 73, 75, and 76. Who won it in 74? Brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Hey Kansas City, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery here. I don't waste my time on products that don't deliver, which is why I stand behind Gutter Cover Kansas City. I've had their gutter protection on 2 of my homes, and I honestly couldn't be happier. It protects my house, basement, and foundation. It looks great, it saves me time, and it keeps me safe. The less time we spend on ladders, the better. I've done the research for you. I've had their gutter guards on my house for years. Just call Gutter Cover KC today at 816-296-6989 or go to guttercoverkc.com.
Summer is here, so get into Trailside RV for a hot deal on your next RV. We offer a huge selection of RVs and a promise you won't hear everywhere. We price match and will never be undersold. Our low overhead means lower prices for you, huge selection, friendly staff, and deals that make it easy to upgrade. Visit Trailside RV in Grain Valley or shop online at trailsiderv.com. Trailside RV, local, friendly, never undersold.
Ready to swing into summer? Tee-Shots is for everyone who loves fun, not just finessed golf grips. Whether you're a first-timer, a casual cruiser, or chasing brag-worthy selfies, it's golf playground style. This summer, they're launching a brand new TrackMan gaming system. Fun data, big smiles, zero pressure. Grab the Summer Swing Pass.
Welcome back here on the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Soren Petro with you. We're in beautiful Lake Tahoe. Our coverage of the American Century Championships is brought to you by American Century Investments. American Century Investments, a global investment manager directing 40% of its dividends to medical research. You can also get signed up for the fantasy golf. Check it out right now. Go to ACCFantasyGolf.com. We are pleased to be joined right now by, I'm trying to think where you are on the favorites board. Kathy Engelbert is with us. She is the commissioner of the WNBA. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
As a father of two daughters.
Girl dad, I love it.
Yes, absolutely. And only two daughters. Only girl dad. There's not like some sons in there either. Big fan of the WNBA. Love the growth and everything that's going on. And love the growth in women's sports. And I don't think it happens without the WNBA being the success story that it is. Do you, in the moment, can you not see the forest through the trees because it's day to day and what we got to do? But do you ever have a chance to step back and look at the influence the WNBA has had on women's sports in general?
Yeah, I think because we've been transforming everything from marketing to corporate partnerships. And we've hired a lot of people. I think when I came in the league, we had 12 people. Now we have 100. So it's been kind of the fruits of our labor to see the growth of the league and bringing in 3 expansion teams in the last 2 years with the Bay Area, with the Valkyries who are killing it. They're like in 3rd place right now and creeping up, maybe tied for 2nd now after a win last night. Just like huge to see the growth and the more players that get opportunities to step up and play, the more roster spots we made available by putting these 3 and 3 more to come through the end of the decade. So yeah, sometimes, you're right. You're in, especially during the season, which we're right in the middle of the season leading into All-Star in 2 weeks now. But, you do need to step back and say where we came from and how great it is that our players are just killing it on the court and off the court in the community angle. And we're going to be doing a lot in Chicago at All-Star coming up around that part.
And the NWSL is growing. We've got an NWSL franchise, and I believe the ownership there would like to have a WNBA franchise, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if any conversations have been had there. You feel free to share anything you'd like. But we've had such great success with the WNSL and the Kansas City Current. And I know that they're like, I would think that, that success is everyone's like, not just success like, oh, great, women's sports, we should do this. They're saying, oh, great, women's sports, I can make a ton of money, which is like, that's the evolution. That's the defining moment.
People were investing in women's sports not at scale back in when I first joined the league, and we were underinvested and undervalued. And I think what you have seen now with the growth of the WNBA and now the NWSL and the PWHL, and now there's a professional softball team, lacrosse, baseball, women's baseball team. So I'm really proud that we kind of led the way on that. And Kansas City, great market. We looked at it when we were looking at expansion. The Longs, who own the NWSL team, are great people, and they've done a great job there. And but as you're looking at expansion, you're looking at markets where you have the right arenas, the right demographics, psychographics, all the stuff. It's a huge data exercise, and so obviously Kansas City's on the map from that perspective. And we
are on the map. I can quote you on that.
Yep, you are on the map.
And the Longs have shown they'll build. They built the first ever professional women's their home soccer stadium, the first one ever. So they've got a great real estate development going on all around that. I assume maybe they'd put it around there. I don't know.
Yeah, basketball's pretty popular in the state of Kansas,
right?
Yes,
it is. Yeah, it
has
some
the Jayhawks
moments. Yeah.
and some in Kansas State and some others. So,
yeah. It is. They've done a great job. What else do you need? Like how many teams can you have? Where do you want to get to?
We're now with bringing in Cleveland in 28, Detroit in 29, Philly in 30. That'll get us to 18. So that's a really good point, because that's going from 144 roster spots to 216. And you're always evaluating. You don't want to degrade the quality of the game on the court, which clearly with these 3 new expansion teams we have not. The play on the court has never been better. And you're seeing players end up on expansion teams like a Marina Mabry, or getting opportunities on teams like Dallas with Jess Shepard. And Jess is going to be a starter in the All-Star game and a first-time All-Star. So it's really cool to see that there's still room for more teams, for sure. But it's all an evaluation. But so we're done through the end of the decade now with the 3 we've named to come in, and we'll see after that. But you're always evaluating the size and scale. And I knew when I came in the league and we only had 12 teams and we didn't have one in the Bay Area, and technology is driving so much of your economy, and you don't have in your tech center of your country and your economy a women's team in a very progressive market. So I knew the Bay was always where we wanted to go first. And Joe Lacob stepped up and has been such a great owner already, only in the 2nd second season.
It is the WNBA, right? And it has an affiliation with the NBA, right? So that is, I get this. I'm prefacing my next question. But one of the things the NBA did well, I think, as far as their growth has come, is they went to Portland. They went to San Antonio. They went to places that they were the biggest show in town.
Yep.
And I know you got to be in, there are some markets, and I agree with you, the Bay Area is one of the
New York,
markets.
San Francisco, LA, the markets, Chicago, where they're the big media markets.
Yeah.
And they have the best demographics, psychographics for a women's league as well.
And when the league launched, it was all, a sister club of a club that was already in the NBA.
Yes, when it originally launched 30 years ago. We're in our 30th season. So
but how is that? Is that still a model that can work of going and being?
Well, we're about half and half independent teams, like in Seattle, in Portland, in Chicago, in Dallas, in Atlanta. Those are all independents, not affiliated with an NBA team.
Not affiliated, but they have them, is what I'm saying. Like to go to a market that does not have a professional basketball team.
Well, Seattle doesn't, but maybe to come.
Let me look at my watch.
And obviously, we had a team in Connecticut. Now that's just sold to Houston, to the NBA owner there, but that was a private transaction between Connecticut and Houston. Again, everybody thinks we have a bias. There's no bias. We want great ownership, committed, invest. And then arena and practice facilities, like you said, Longs have built, the practice facilities. Portland's doing the same thing for both their NWSL and their WNBA team. So there's a market where it's not an NBA owner. There is an NBA team, a different owner. And ownership just changed hands, obviously. But the same owner that owns the NWSL team just launched the Portland Fire. So, we have all different kinds of models in the league. And we're just looking for owners, long-term, committed owners who are going to be great partners in this great league.
Lamar Hunt, who founded the AFL and the Kansas City Chiefs, the Dallas Texans, which became the Chiefs, he told the story in his biography about when the MLS almost shut down. They were down to 3 owners. It was him, it was Bob Kraft, and it was Anschutz. And they owned, I think they were down to 10 teams. It was like 6-3-1 between the two of them. Lamar owned 3, and Anschutz owned 6 of them. And they said, listen, the one thing we have to have is we have to have independent owners, right? Is that something that needs to happen for the WNBA to, like you mentioned, some have affiliations,
we have a mix. Yeah, we have a mix. Again, no bias. We're looking at the key criteria, the key data for each market. We actually took 100 cities in both the U.S. and Canada and put them through a lens of a whole different data exercise. How many Fortune 500 companies are based there? Russell 1000, obviously with tech sector, a lot in that one. And just like we want new teams to come in and be successful. And how do they be successful? They get a great corporate partnership, support from that fan base. Are they already fans of the NCAA women's game because that's so popular, and is that market? So looking at a huge data exercise. So again, it's not so much, we need long-term committed owners who invest in practice facilities, player experience, because our free agency now is so active. I mean, NBA just went through free agency. Our free agency is pretty active, and next year it's going to be very active again, like it was this year coming off a new CBA. And you want owners to be successful, and you want owners to invest in the player experience. So that's more what we're focused on, not whether they're independent or an NBA affiliate.
Kathy Engelbert's with us. She's the commissioner for the WNBA. So last question on this. I hope I'm not wearing you out, but 100 years from now, what idea, or 50 years, let's not go 100 because that's so far, but how many teams, is 30 the goal? Because I would like to see all the teams get to it, all the leagues be at least 40. I think you need to chop up New York into like 6 teams and all that, which is tough to do when you give ownership rights to the media market for one guy. I know it's never going to happen for the NFL, but the EPL has like 10 teams in London, right? Like that's how they do it. I'm just curious how many teams.
I think you have to look at like the growth mode we're in. I had a long career in business before I came to the WNBA, and looking at, we're still like in this hyper growth mode, and that's going to settle at some time. And I tell my team all the time, we got to go from hyper growth to sustained growth, because that's how leagues end up thriving in the end. Like we were like just surviving when I came in, now we're thriving. And when we come off this hyper growth period of bringing, because there's only so many fans in the U.S., there's only so many people, and we have to be, for instance, I admire what the NBA's done globally. They've become a real global sport, second to obviously football/soccer. And so how do we do that? So there's a lot of things we're thinking of in the future to invest in, and global would be like number one on my list. We know we have a lot of global fans, but we don't necessarily have the data on them. We don't necessarily build our marketing plans around globalization. We know there's a lot of players in Asia and Africa that probably with better development systems would come into our league, and that would then say expand to more teams. So you have to look at kind of your population of players who can play at this level, play at the level of an Asia Wilson, of a Jonquel Jones, of a Stewie, of a Sabrina, of a Caitlin and Angel, et cetera. And you just have to see how many roster spots then that would require. Going to 216, I mean, think about it. Going from 144 to 216 is a lot in a very short period of time. So I think in the 10 years out, I think that's when we should start looking at it again. 50 years out, I think, yeah, could we be a league of 30? Absolutely, because scale matters in sports, scale and the loyalty. And then, you know, with the NBA looking at a European league, is that something in 20 years, maybe we don't have the capital to do that today, but is that something in 20 years we do?
Yeah.
Because I know whenever Adam and Mark Tatum are over in Europe, they're asked about it. What about the WNBA coming to Europe? So we got to start with some global game strategy and a global strategy and then move from that.
Kathy Englebert's been very kind to give us some time here, the commissioner for the WNBA. My final four quick, just a couple words, maybe a sentence or two. You don't have to go very in deep, but I'll just ask you this. Would you be in favor of ever having relegation?
Oh, it's such an interesting concept, obviously, now that everybody's talking about in the golf world, given the PGA Tour's announcement. I don't think so not for women's sports. We're only in our 30th year. Men's sports are in their 80 to 110th years. So I don't think for us right now it would be the right answer. But, you know, maybe for some leagues and sports, it's something, obviously, in soccer it works well and it's kind of exciting to try to get, upgraded. The downgrades are the hard part, right?
But you have exciting games for the teams at the bottom at the end.
Well, in sports, you always need games of consequence.
Yes.
Or matches of consequence, or whatever you want to call it, or meets of consequence. So I think from that perspective, it brings, and that's what our playoffs bring, for instance, and our free agency. And games of consequence matter. So from that perspective, it probably is not a bad model.
Okay. Who was your biggest mentor?
I was so blessed to be at a firm like Deloitte that had mentorship and sponsorship. I would say sponsors were more what got me to where I was ultimately as the first female CEO of Deloitte. So I'd say there were a couple, and they were all men because it was a very male-dominated world that I grew up in. So a lot of mentors and sponsors. The sponsors are the ones that pound the table behind the scenes and advocate for you in rooms that you're not in. And I had some great sponsors. But probably my father is my biggest role model. Okay. He died very young, but he was a basketball player, got drafted by the Detroit Pistons in 1957.
Yep.
He was a 6'6" center. Today he'd be a point guard. He was probably my role model because he worked. I'm one of 8 kids. I have 5 brothers. He worked, his whole life to support us. All 8 of us got to go to college. We were kind of I was the first generation female to go to college, me and my sisters. So, my father was the biggest influence on me.
Okay. The tradition in this country is every time there's a draft, the commissioner comes out and everybody boos. So what is it like to walk out and hear, somebody go boo just because you're the commissioner?
Well, the draft this year, I didn't get booed. We had just come off making like 31 millionaires in 72 hours after the collective bargaining agreement, but I do get booed in arena. So that my son just says, like, Mom, that just means you've arrived.
Exactly.
But look, commissioner jobs are really hard. When some of us get together periodically, or we see each other at events like this, and we commiserate around how hard sometimes our jobs are, and how sometimes the fans don't see everything we're doing behind the scenes, and how hard we're working. And quite frankly, my team works so hard, whether it's our marketers, our social, our corporate partnership people, our basketball ops, and it's especially in season, you're kind of in whack-a-mole every night. There's something to look at. It's also, there's also great moments like here when fans come up to me and they're big WNBA fans, and they want a selfie or a photo, or they want to talk about their favorite player or their favorite team, and that's when I know we've arrived.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, finally, have you or will you on this trip get in the lake?
I will not get in the lake, I assure you.
No?
I always used to say I'm a land athlete, not a water athlete. The only thing I'll do is I'll shoot some hoops on number 17 here.
Okay, good.
That I will do. And
you were a team captain on your college team, correct?
Yeah. And I'll also probably throw whatever balls they throw at me down when all the boats come in. One of my favorite parts of last year was that.
Yeah, 17.
And I actually made a shot on between 17 and 18 when they had that hoop set up. I made a shot last year.
The Steph Curry never makes it.
Yeah, he made one last year.
Oh, he made one last year. I know that's not true, but I was just going to, just try to say, hey, Kathy, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, great to be here.
Have a great weekend.
Yep, thank you so much.
Look, if your property needs asphalt or concrete work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is there to help. For more than 30 years, they've been solving parking lot problems here in Kansas City. Whether it's parking lots, drive lanes, sidewalks, curbs, patching, seal coating, crack filling, repairs, their experienced crews handle projects of all sizes throughout Kansas City. I'm talking about big ones, even like the Liberty Memorial. That's right. They did that entire driveway. That is a big job. No matter how big your job is, they can handle it. Whether you're fixing problem areas or planning a larger paving project, Gann focuses on quality workmanship and dependable service from start to finish. I know they sealed our pool in my neighborhood. They did a fantastic job. They were right on time scheduling wise. They made it super easy with the customer service, and they did a phenomenal job. We love how it looks. Listen, no matter what shape your pavement is in, today they can help improve it. So if right now your parking lot is crumbling, falling apart, if you don't have lines where everybody can see where they're going, that could mean accidents. That could mean liability problems for you. Don't waste that time on your business. Get back to work and let Gann Asphalt and Concrete give you a parking lot that works perfectly. Beautifully striped, signage, everything you need. They do it all. Like I said, whether routine maintenance or a complete parking lot overhaul, Gann is ready to help you. More than 30 years, they've been living by one adage. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So
That's right. It's time to talk some Royals baseball. David Lesky is with us here in the program. I'm live at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Our coverage brought to you by the American Century Investments right here in Tahoe. American Century Investments is a global investment manager. They direct 40% of their dividends to medical research, and you've still got time to play the American Century Championship Fantasy Golf. Go to ACCFantasyGolf.com. That's ACCFantasyGolf.com. If you win the day, you get 2 tickets. There's 3 days of it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You get 2 tickets to the American Century Championship next year. And if you win the whole thing, all 3 days combined, you get $10,000 plus the 2 tickets. So go sign up now, ACCFantasyGolf.com. Pick your 5 players from the 5 different groups, and you could be coming out here to join us next year at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe. David, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing very good. What do we make of where do you want to start? Jack in the home run derby or Tyler Tolbert's hitting exhibition?
I think they should put Tolbert in the home run derby, personally.
Well, that's a possibility.
He's got more than Jack in the last week, so
that's a fair point. Let's start with Jack in the home run derby. Any fear of his? You know, we haven't heard much of it lately because guys like Pete Alonso have performed in it and then gone on to keep hitting. But there for a while, there was kind of this vibe, like, you know, like when Brian Abreu, or Bobby Abreu, when Bobby Abreu won the home run derby and then like he didn't hit another home run like the rest of the year, or like 1 or 2. It's like, oh, it just screws up your swing. Any fear of that with Jack Caglione?
More than the typical fear that a Royal is going to do something silly. No, I mean, I think it's possible. I started compiling and I haven't finished it yet, but I went the last 5 years. I'm only through 2023, but post break and pre break, in the 3 years that I have, I have the list up right now. I'll count it real quick. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the 24 participants had their slugging percentage go up in the second half, which means 13 went up, 11 went down. It's a crapshoot, and like you just don't know what it was at the Derby, or did they just have a really good first half or a bad, whatever. And so, no, I don't think there's a fear other than just a general fear with a guy like Jack Caglione.
One of the theories that Soren and I have been kind of knocking around is the idea that Caglione is a guy who might benefit a little bit because that's the kind of stroke that if he's going to be a 40 home run guy, he's going to have to find that pull it and lift it thing, which you might be able to. If it may not help him, but it certainly wouldn't necessarily hurt him to sit there and try to do that for an hour and a half.
I could see that totally, and I mean, look, Bobby in the Derby 2 years ago, he was having a really good season, and then went to the home run derby, almost won it. Different format now than it was then, but. This will be the first year of the new format, but he went out and he had the best month the Royals had since George Brett after that. So, and what was it? I think it was Juan Soto a few years ago, was kind of struggling. They put him in the Derby. I think that was the one in Colorado, and then he turned it around, had a monster second half, and he credited the home run derby with getting his swing back on track. So, I think that any fear you have, I think it's just as likely that it actually plays a positive role because look, Caglione hasn't been hitting now. He doubled today. He got he doubled yesterday. I think he got a couple hits. He's not. It hasn't been a complete nothing for the last week and a half or so, but he's struggled since that hot streak. And so maybe it'd be nice. Maybe it'll help him get that home run stroke back, and he'll start the second half hot.
I do think his, I think that's a great point. Like, go ahead and let it go on this, and then see if you can carry that forward. I also do think that he has not been in the big leagues very long, right? And so if it does, he's still trying, I think, to dial it in to where I know what I'm doing and I know how to fix anything I get off, get off course, and I don't get that far off course anytime I do. I don't know that we can say he's there yet. And so I agree with everything, but I also think we're looking for the reason why it won't be a problem and why it could be positive. I do think it has screwed some people up, and I do think he's a candidate to get screwed up.
I agree.
I'm not saying he will.
Yeah.
I think it could go. I think it's a complete unknown, and I think it could go, like you said, David, an unlock, and maybe it takes him to the next level, a level he was going to get to later, because now he's focusing on hitting the ball over the wall, and that's what they drafted him to do. But I am fearful that there could be some problems.
Look,
there.
we've seen him tailspin, so I hope, I think more than anything, and we talked about he had to get off to a good start this year. It was fine. He got off to a decent start. He was fine. I think that when they come back a week from tomorrow, he probably needs to have a good couple games, or else we could. You wonder what'll happen. I think that there's a reasonable fear if he goes 0 for 12 in that series against the Padres with 6 strikeouts. I would be concerned about what's coming next personally, but I think that it's just as likely it helps as it hurts, which is to say that it absolutely could hurt, but it also could help.
So what's your prediction on what he'll do?
7,000 home runs. So I honestly, we don't have the whole field yet, right? It's just we've got the.
I think there's 4 guys.
Oh, they had Jordan Walker today, so they had a 5th.
5.
I know there's at least 5. I haven't seen if there's any more, but I mean, look, he's made for this. He's made for a juiced ball in the middle of the zone, trying to hit the ball over the wall. I think he's got as good a chance to win as anybody. I think he has the best chance to win of any Royal who's been in the Derby other than Bo Jackson.
It's Jack Caglione, Junior Caminero, Ben Rice, Wilson Contreras, and Jordan Walker. Right.
Okay, so still just the 5. Yeah. I mean, we don't know who else is going to be there, but does anybody in that group have more power than Caglione? I don't think so.
Junior Caminero might.
What's Philly's ballpark? Look, is that one of those places? I mean, Kyle Schwarber and
I think it's a short right field.
Bryce Harper had a good time.
I think so too. I think that's part of the reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
Schwarber's so dominant.
Oh yeah, and Harper's been great there too, and
yeah.
I think he's got a real shot to win it. I don't. I wouldn't give Wilson Contreras much of a chance. But I think Jack Caglione, I think he has a chance to put on a show, and it's who can predict a home run derby, right? Like we've seen him take batting practice; it's impressive. But big stage, smaller stage now with Netflix, I feel like. But he's got as much power as anybody.
Looking at it right now, it's 330 down the line, but it's a straight 90-degree angle, the fence, and it's 369 to the power alley.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not pretty reachable.
Yeah. So it should serve him well. And listen, for a guy like him, it's pull and loft.
Yep.
Like I don't think there's, that's what the game is asking you to do. So I really hope at some point that the Royals, I don't hear as much of it, but I still hear about using the whole ballpark. Please stop.
Yeah.
When it comes to Jack Caglione, please don't mention that, and please stop. If you're coaching that, please stop, because his value will be hitting the ball over the wall. And by the way, if you want to sign the guy, go ahead and let him know what your dimensions are going to be to right field and give him a kiss.
Yes.
Help him out.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Because I'm serious. I know you think, just not you guys, but somebody's out there going, you're not serious. But no, I am serious about that. And I think the Phillies have won a lot of games, and they got a ballpark that they can tailor to it. And I have grown weary of hearing about wanting a fair park. I want a park you can win in. I don't want to hear about fair. I want a park you can win in.
Exactly.
And this isn't where you were going with this, but I've said for a long time, give me one spot on the field that a hitter can dominate, and give me one spot on the field that a pitcher can dominate. Give me I don't care.
That's pretty cool. I
deep
like
left
that.
Center, home housn, porch, and right. However you want to do it.
And most parks you have one, have the other. So
right.
There's some weird little 420. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Boston has that.
Yeah, Boston's a great example. They have 2 spots you can really hit to.
Yeah.
Right down the right field line.
But they've also got 420 in the to the right of center field.
Their right fielders need to be center fielders out there. But yeah, give me a spot that Jack Caglione can hit 55 home runs. Do it, and then give him an 8-year deal. That's fine.
You're right.
Yeah, listen, that sounds good to me. And like, it is one of the reasons why it'd be nice if he can finish off this year pounding the ball over the wall, and you're like, okay, we have a legit slugger. Then it gets easier to design that ballpark that way.
For sure.
I mean, listen.
Well, because you don't have to design around Bobby either. I mean, he does hit the ball to all fields. That's fine. Let him do that. He'll figure it out. Design around, figure out something that you can target, whether you have it already or you can go get it, and design the park that way.
But you've already signed,
right? Yeah.
Right. You've already and by that I mean we're already years through the time that the Royals could, for a reasonable price, and let's be honest, his contract is certainly very reasonable for what he's become. I mean, that contract looks great. When they signed it, it's like, okay, good deal. And then he has an MVP caliber year, and he continues to play at an 8 to 10 WAR range. Since then, that contract looks great. But we're barreling through it, right? I mean, I can't stress to people, 30 is the last year, basically, of that deal.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to maximize him in a trade, that means you trade him after 28.
Mm-hmm.
This year's done. They're not going anywhere. They anytime they start to give you a glimmer of hope, they quickly go, no, calm down. Let's lose a couple of games. And they take care of it for you like they've done here. And you don't have to think about
Which
it.
is
It's
nice
all
of them,
about
by
the
the way.
future. It is. I honestly, we're joking, but I do appreciate it because I don't want to get my hopes up again. I was thinking about it this morning. I was thinking about things, to talk with you about. And I'm like, well, we'll have the game done. But if they could win, I'd be like, okay, they got to win 10 in a row, or they got to
Right.
go on like a 14 out of 17.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got to have just some wicked hot streak. Then I would say, okay, they're alive, right? They're still. And I asked Curtis the other day. He said they got to get to within 9 of 500. No more than 9 under. And I was like, I almost think that now we're getting so late on what it would take to get to 9 under. I think that might be right, but I think we're almost like they've got to have some wicked hot streak, which isn't coming. But I had this thought today. I'm like, okay, maybe they just lost one to the Mets, but they'll come back. They didn't do it, right? But so this year's done, and then you have 2 years before you get 27 and 28. At the end of 28, that's your max value on Bobby Witt.
Yes.
And is to the team that acquires him to have 2 years with him, and you can get the maximum return on Bobby Witt. And so a decision is coming sooner than people realize. So if you're going to build a ballpark for somebody, you can get Jack signed to a deal where you've got 7 years, and maybe it's after this year, maybe it's after next year, but you can get like 7 years in the bank, and then you can build the ballpark for him to get started. But Bobby Witt Jr., I'm not even convinced is going to be on the team when they play their first game in the new ballpark.
Yeah, it's certainly possible he's not. And you're right, 28's the year. You could probably get into 29 and do a midseason trade, but the max value is after 28. So you either trade him or you sign a new deal. Because if he plays 2031 on the current contract he's on, something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
Because you don't want him on
sure.
that contract. You don't want him to opt in to $35 million for 1 year. Because if he does, that means it's been a disaster.
Yes. And that's why, yes, if 31 has happened, you did not trade him and he's fallen apart.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why you've got to make that decision sooner. And to me, I think the Royals, but you know what'll happen? I think the Royals, in all likelihood, will muddle along, middling, not trade him, and then they'll end up dealing him, or they won't even deal him. They'll watch him leave in free agency. Like, well, we get a draft pick.
Yeah.
We'll give him a qualifying offer.
The CBA is actually going to be really interesting about that, because if they don't have a draft pick, that'll change the calculation too, because there may be no qualifying offer. It's very possible they don't get anything for him if he walks, which, we'll see. We'll know that, and by this time next year, we'll know that. But that'll change the calculation quite a bit there.
Tyler Tolbert. Curtis, who were the 2 guys that had done it before? It was Roberto Clemente
and a man named Hy Myers in 1917.
Hy Myers, one of my favorite players of all time.
It's
Yeah,
the Hy Myers generation.
Yeah.
So what does that do for what do we? Does that make that an anomaly only?
Yes.
Or does it mean that there's more there than we thought in Tyler Tolbert?
Well, look, I think that it's possible that he. It's an anomaly. I mean, let's be honest.
Yes.
How many of them were infield hits, which does lend you to his athleticism? But,
right. It was 3 in a row.
But he did hit 2 home runs.
The 9th, the 10th, 11th, and 12th straight hits were infield hits, which good for him. I'm pulling up his numbers right now. I look.
He's putting the ball in play.
He puts the ball in play. Yeah, I look back to 2023 in AA. He hit 276, 336, 419. 25 years old. Now, that's roughly at an appropriate age for that level. A little bit old. 10 home runs. This is not, and no disrespect to Terrence Gore, but this is not Terrence Gore. He is a better,
in a lot of ways. He's not the speedster that Gore was.
He's not as fast as you think he is. We've talked about that before, but he's still very fast. He's much more Gerard Dyson, I think, than Terrence Gore, in that if you need him for 2 weeks, he may not embarrass you. You want to start him once a week. You want to platoon him with Michael Massey, whatever. Sure, great, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, look, he's shown to me. He's shown that he can be a quality utility player because he's shown the defensive ability that I didn't think he had. I mean, he's looked pretty good at shortstop. He made a really nice play today to start a double play in
right field last night.
Last night in right field, he made a nice play. He's played good shortstop. He made a good play at second base today. He's shown more defensive ability than I expected. And so,
do you like him in center?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't think he's.
But I am with you. I am with you on the defensive. Like, he's good enough.
Yeah.
That if he can hit, if he can get to a 300 on base percentage, he's good enough.
Right.
If you can push him all over the diamond.
And I mean, look, he's not. I don't know what he's. I haven't looked at his average after today. He did get a hit today, but he came in today hitting 370 something. I don't know. I don't think that. I don't think it's unreal to expect he can give you a 250, 260 average, a 290, 300 on base, and there's enough power that the outfielders have to respect him. He's not powerful, but he's a guy who I think can help a team win as the last man on the roster. He's also a guy, in my opinion, I think that you don't hesitate to move off him if you find somebody better necessarily. But it works. I think you can win with Tyler Tolbert as your last man on the bench.
Tyler Tolbert, with this hot streak, which has made his numbers
insane,
video game-esque.
Yeah.
But with the hot streak, he is now, in 2 years, a 327, 366, 446 player. Right? That's an 812 OPS. His minor leagues, which is 7 years of minor league baseball, part of which he was too old for the levels.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. At 25, 25, you're maybe still got some prospect status in you. 26, that's leaving. 27's gone. 28's long gone. And these are his minor league numbers. And so for his career overall in the minors, 246, 334, 359. I mean, if you would give me that,
sure,
right now, then I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it as long as he can be pushing around the diamond. Then he becomes a valuable utility player.
And as long as he's still a successful base stealer, because he's still at 85%. I mean, if you're stealing 85%, and again, we talked about this, when he gets out there, not lately because he's been starting the last few games, but when he's out there, it's a situation in leverage that the team knows he's running, and he's still successful 85% of the time. As long as he can do that, there's a spot for him.
I think there is too. I mean, that over 7 seasons, that covers 2,400 plate appearances, 2,000 at bats. Like if you're an everyday player, that's that's 3 and change or 4. If you're not quite an everyday player, that's like 4 years. But I think one of the things that I do like the idea of is, like, usually in the minors, you're not being platooned. You're getting a chance to play against everything. And so they can mix and match. I think they could maybe even inflate those numbers a little bit at the big leagues from the standpoint of, okay, we know we can't hit this guy, so he's not playing today. We're in the minor leagues, you're writing his name in the lineup and he's going out there. So
right.
I think you could even, through some smart managing, you could get some numbers out of him. And so I do think that is one of the part of, but that is, this streak, not that he's ever going to do it again, he won't, but this streak does, I think,
Are you willing to put your name on that he won't do it again?
100%.
Oh,
100%.
Man.
He will
that
never
is bold.
do it again. Because somebody said something to the effect of, every time Tolbert gets a start from here on out, he'll have an opportunity to join Angel Baroa, George Brett, Billy Butler, Al Cowens, Johnny Damon, Eric Hosmer, Hal McRae, Joe Randa, Kevin Seitzer, and Willie Wilson as Royals with multiple hot 5-hit games. I'll put my 2 cents in to say that I don't think he'll do it.
What an
This is
idiot.
This is arguably the fastest I've ever been wrong, but I didn't think he'd ever join the list at all. So that's something fun to watch for the rest of his Royals career. That was David Lesky from Inside the Ground.
Idiot.
Dude, I have your back 1,000,000%. I would have told you you'll never get
did it the
5-hit
next
game.
day.
I know.
Yep.
Good for him. Good for Tyler.
I do look at it, and it's maybe I'm just trying to find some other kind of angle. Like what could we be missing? If you take out the 12 for 12, which you can't, but if you do, in 89 major league at bats, he's hitting 236.
Yeah.
But it's the 12 for 12 happened.
That's why I told you.
Make the 12 for 12 5 for 12. So what is that?
I would take the 246 if it comes with a 334.
And to be
base.
clear, his walk rate has come up this year. Like he didn't the sample size is so small that it only takes a couple. But he was at like a 1-point-something% walk rate last year. This year it's around 7%, which in his role that's fine. You know, if
that has to go up.
It does have to go up, but also I sort of get it too. Bench players who walk are fascinating to me because they have some of the, and I don't mean this as plate discipline, the best discipline of human beings. Like if I never got a chance to play, you could not catch me not swinging the bat. I'm sorry. If I got out there for one day a week, I'm swinging the bat no matter what. So I find bench players who walk fascinating because of that. And I do think that adds a different wrinkle to it. If you're not in there every day, do you really want to watch pitches? No, you want to swing the bat. You want to hit, and I know your job is to get on base, but yeah, it does need to go up. You're right.
By the way, I want to point out that 7% walk rate is equated to 4 walks.
Yes,
that's how small the sample size is on this. All right, let's take a break. David Lesky from Inside the Crown is with us here in the program. We'll take a break, come back, talk some more Royals baseball next.
The program with Soren Petro.
Travis? Hey, how are you? All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. There's nothing worse than having a Saturday roll around and you're dealing with plumbing problems, whether it's a toilet that won't flush, a water heater that won't heat, whether it's a drain that's clogged, or worse, it's that main line coming in from the street that you've got a problem. Listen, the one to know when you've got a plumbing problem is the Plumbing Pro, serving Kansas City since 1980, locally owned and operated. That's right, still locally owned and operated. You'll see some names you recognize. Find out if they're really locally owned and operated. Many companies have sold out. They're now run by out-of-town companies. Just a numbers game. That's not the case with the Plumbing Pro. They're plumbing experts at everything. They're locally owned and operated. They live here. They work here. They take pride in what they do. They take pride in the name, the Plumbing Pro. So no matter what you might need, don't waste an entire weekend messing around with it yourself. I did that. I blew a whole Saturday one day. 6 hours trying to fix a toilet. I finally got it done, I think, but it was 4 trips to the hardware store, messing around. I don't know how many profanities. You don't have to do that. Call the one to know. Tim Grunhard hooked me up with the Plumbing Pro, and they have been our plumbers ever since. So go right now to theplumbingpro.com. Sewer, septic, drain installation, and repair. They do it all. You need that underground sewer or water line replaced? They can do that as well. Ask about their low-impact pipe bursting. Help save your landscape, driveways, and sidewalks. Save thousands on those repairs with their high-end technology. It's the Plumbing Pro. Call 816-763-8200. Online at theplumbingpro.com. Remember, the one to know is the Plumbing Pro.
Great deals are always in season at Swade Cannabis Dispensary. Enjoy ongoing specials and free same-day delivery. Visit www.swade.shop to explore a wide selection of deli-style options. Shop now and save big at any of their 5 KC Metro locations at www.swade.shop.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast.
All right, the Twin Peaks, end of the hour answer. Born on this date, O.J. Simpson won the NFL rushing title in 72, 73, 75, and 76. Who won it in 74? His only
who
rushing
interrupted the
championship.
juice? Is he a K-State guy?
Nope. AFC West player. Where did he go to?
Current AFC West or then AFC West?
Current AFC West. And then as well.
I thought you were going to ask current AFC West player. No, I don't think so.
So a Chief, a Charger, a Raider, or a Bronco.
Has a
what
name
year
that's
was it?
74. Has a name similar to a guy who was a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, that's okay. So he wasn't a K-State. Larry Brown?
Nope. Went to Purdue. OA. And
Otis Anderson?
Otis Armstrong.
Otis Armstrong. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to get that.
That's what I said. I said he had a similar name to a Super Bowl MVP, Otis Anderson. Otis Armstrong, 1,400 yards for the Broncos.
I love the questions that you could be making it up. Nobody would know.
Yeah. Who's calling you on that one?
Yeah. There'll be somebody.
There will be. There will be. We're talking to our man David Lesky from Inside the Crown. I'm live at the American Century Championships here in Tahoe, where our coverage is brought to you by our friends at Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things pavement. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com. So, David, where do we sit on our fear factor with Seth Lugo?
Well, a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the most scared, 12, 17. I don't know.
Really?
He just doesn't look good. It's hard, and it's easy to say that because he just had a bad start and just had a couple bad starts. Like, there's a lot of recency bias there, and I think that he's a guy who I think you can probably say you can pencil him in for 5 or 6 innings every 5th day, which is useful, but it just doesn't look like it's coming back. The command isn't there. The stuff is down a tick or two, and he needs one of those. He was always a guy who you looked at and you said, oh, he's a great command pitcher. No, he had good stuff too. And that curveball was nasty. It hasn't been nasty, and the fastball doesn't play as well as it did a couple years ago. It's concerning. I mean, we talk about, you want to talk about the trade deadline and should they trade him? Should they trade Waka? And that's a bigger conversation, obviously. They should absolutely trade Lugo, but they're not going to get anything for him because nobody's paying for $20 million of Seth Lugo. They had to pay the contract down, and even then, who knows?
It's $20+ million, and he's a below average pitcher.
That's what I'm saying. Right, yeah, it's hard to. You can say they should trade him all they want, but at this point, I would say try to fix him, but rather than trade him.
Listen, he's going to pitch for them next year, no matter what.
Yeah.
And Michael Waka turned 35 or is turning 35 in a day or two. I don't understand. They didn't move Lugo because they were going for it, and I don't know what they were offered. Maybe they were offered nothing, and maybe they will not get an offer that warrants Michael Waka. And I know that they're today the Athletic, Ken Rosenthal says, well, it's going to take two real prospects. It's going to take a big offer. Like, we'll listen, but we don't think anyone's going to give us the kind of offer it's going to take to get him. Okay, it's fine if that's your opening pitch, but if you get a good offer for him, let Seth Lugo be your guide.
Yeah.
They're entering the territory where you cannot count on them.
Yes.
And the perfect, literally the perfect scenario kind of played out. To me, it's this fear of finding more pitching next year.
Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't be scared.
If you find a guy that's out there that's $8 million and you got to go 11 on a 1-year deal because that's what it takes to get him and you're overpaying for him, that's still less than either one of these guys make.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be paying Lugo. I mean, and Walker, the way he's pitching right now, yeah, I know what they're thinking. They're thinking we got him for 27 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but at 28 he'll be 37.
Also,
you really think he's going to be top shelf then?
4 runs or more in 7 of his last 15 starts he's allowed.
Yeah.
It hasn't been as good as you think it is.
No, that's
which also is a reason that teams won't give him what they want.
Wonder if the clubhouse is still jacked. Excited about that.
I hope so.
Like they were when he got the extension.
I hope so.
That was the Lugo extension.
Yeah, that
has them jacked.
Oh, that's right.
They were so jacked that they all got hurt.
You get those two confused every once in a while.
That's how excited they were.
That's how jacked they were.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, David, we appreciate it. Great stuff as always, my friend. We will talk with you again next week. I'll talk to you on Sunday for our Kaufman Corner podcast, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there he goes. David Lesky live at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe. We've got Blair Kirchhoff coming up next here in the program.
All right, who holds the MLB record for stolen bases in a season with fewer than 50 hits? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
That's right. Let's talk to Blair Kirchhoff, our college insider, columnist for the Kansas City Star. Joins us here in the program. He's brought to you by our friends at Art and Frame Warehouse. FrameKC.com is where you can find them online, celebrating 25 years in business, locally owned and operated. They are experts in framing your sports memorabilia. So if you got that big-time quarterback jersey, don't have it sitting in a box. And don't let some other framer that doesn't really know what they're doing put it in something that looks like trash, doesn't have a quality matching background, maybe an action photo of that quarterback making it happen down in the corner. They can do so many great things. They are true artists when it comes to all things framing, whatever framing you need. But the sports memorabilia framing is difficult, but they're experts at it. It's the only place I take any of my framing. Michael and his great staff, great to work with, wonderful customer service. They'll deliver, they'll install. I highly recommend you have them do that for you. They're great at it, and it protects it in delivery. If you got a big framed jersey, those things are kind of awkward to carry in the car. They've got a truck specially designed to make sure that everything gets there to you safe, and everything comes with a lifetime warranty. Only had to honor that once in 25 years of business. Find them online at FrameKC.com or go see him at 92nd and Metcalf. We're live at the American Century Championships here in beautiful Lake Tahoe. Of course, our coverage brought to you by American Century Investments, a global investment manager directing 40% of their dividends to medical research. Also, make sure you sign up for that fantasy golf, ACC Fantasy Golf. I'm putting my squad together. I'll release that at some point here before the program is over, I believe. I've got one more player to choose, and you'll know. Maybe I won't put mine out there. I'll put mine out there tomorrow because I don't need everybody copying me. I want to win. I think I've got a hell of a squad. So I'll put that out there tomorrow, but I'll get it done today. Got to get it done today. Deadline's coming up tonight, so take advantage of it. ACCFantasyGolf.com. Blair Kirchhoff joins us. Blair, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. I hope you are too.
Doing great. I'm looking at a mountain. Bright sunshine, 78 degrees, blue skies everywhere.
So is Blair. It's me.
Yeah, we're looking at a mountain.
Mountain.
That's true. Son of a man.
So are you sitting in California or Nevada right now?
So I am, I got to think for a second. I am in Nevada, but we are right by the line. Basically where, if you ever see pictures of South Lake Tahoe, which is where we're at technically, it is where the hotels are, where you'll see the hotels. They're Nevada, and just I'm trying to think if we're on. I think we're on the turn of Cal. No, we're not. That's down low.
A little
so
south.
We're up north. So then,
if you go a little south, you'd be in California, right? South and west.
If you go,
I'm looking at it now.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, about 400 feet to the southwest of where you are is the line.
Yeah. Literally, the line is like where we went to dinner the other night was in California, and so you're walking distance from the California line.
There's a fairway that I'm looking at. The fairway, the state line bisects the fairway right down the fairway. You could actually hit a ball, tee it from California and hit the hole in Nevada. It's wild.
And so it's all, and it's all that really matters is for the casinos where they go.
Yep.
And that might not even matter anymore now when it's all said and done. But Heavenly is the ski resort that's right here.
Right.
That feeds down to South Lake Tahoe, and you can see a couple of the gondolas. The main skiing part of Heavenly is kind of over the mountain that we look at. And if you get over the mountain we look at, that mountain's close enough that you can't see that the mountains behind it are bigger. And so the one you see where we're on this side, you can see the gondola that goes up it, and you can ride that in the summer. And then you get up over that, and you're like, oh, okay, now here's an even bigger mountain range. And then you see more of the ski runs. But there is a couple of ski runs on this side. In fact, there's a place called it's called Ski Run something. It's where it's kind of like an outdoor mall, and it's got a number of restaurants. It's also where you would go to rent a boat if you wanted to rent a boat. And they always tell you when you're bringing the boat back, like on how to find them, because you get out there on the middle, it kind of does all look the same out there. They're like, look for the upside down Y, because there's a ski run that's cut into the trees, and so it comes down and then forks off to two ways. And so that's the one run that's on this slope peak, I guess you'd say, and then most of them are back on the other side. But they got like zip lining and one of those toboggans, those sleds that you can take down in the summer. They've got a whole bunch of activities up there for the summer. Great hiking trails, and it's
I imagine a lot of water activities, I imagine. And You know,
there is, but it's funny. I ask everybody here a lot of times. One of the questions I like to give for the Final Four, just to gauge people, and I think it's funny, is like, have you been or will you get in the lake on this trip? And some people are enthusiastic about it. Yeah, I'll bet when I talk to Derek Carr tomorrow in the 5 o'clock hour, Blair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He will tell us that he uses it as a cold plunge, like a recovery type deal. There are others that will tell you that, oh, God, no. It's like 50 degrees. I'm not getting in. And I think the average water temperature on it each year is like 54.
Oh, that's a little nippy. Yeah.
Oh, it's cold. Lake Tahoe water temp average. Let's see. The old never fails us AI.
500 degrees.
I don't want the air temperature. Lake Tahoe surface water averages between 40 in the winter and 65 to 70 during its warmest summer months.
And we're not there yet with the warmest summer months.
No, warmest
August.
will be, we get down towards the end. And this down here says July high of 68, low of 57 for the water temp. Water temp by month. Let's just look at that. Here we go. Travel Tahoe. Let's see what
I'm curious about all this because I'll be out there in a month, and I need a good scouting report.
I'm going to give you a good one. So in June, it runs between 57 and 52. In July, between 68 and 57. So it's warmer than that. It's probably in the 50s. I know it depends on the snowfall. Like, this would probably be a good year to get in it, at least according to one of the locals who drove us up here from Reno to here.
Right.
I said, is it a big snowfall year? And he said, no, it wasn't. When it's a big snowfall year, there's like a place called Emerald Bay where it's a neat place to drive a boat over to, and there's an actual waterfall of like the higher peaks that are still melting. And when that thing is flowing, it was a big snow year, and you can see that there's still a ton of, ice cold water emptying into the lake. So the temperature's down. He said it was a low snowfall year, so the temperature should be on the higher end of the averages this year. August, high of 70, low of 65. So when are you coming, Blair?
Yeah, mid-August.
Okay. Yeah, you should be in a sweet spot there.
Yeah.
That's still cold for people who don't know. Don't pay attention to that kind of thing. That's still it's still going to be cold.
It is.
My advice to you is to get a boat. You have to get a boat, Blair. I'm going to tell everyone that you have to get a boat because getting out in the middle of it, it's great to look at it from the shore, but when you're in the middle of it and it's 360 degrees around you, it's phenomenal. And when you get in the middle of a like 1,800 foot deep lake. And when you get out on it and you even go to some of the shallow places and you see how far down you can see, it's just a whole nother experience getting out there. And then you got to get in the water, at least for a minute, to say you've been in the water.
Looking forward to it. I will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you a place to rent from. First come, first serve, no reservations. So try to hustle over.
There you go.
I'll give you a dinner place.
By the way, I just saw a post from a good friend of all three of ours, Adam Teicher.
Adam
just posted a picture.
Slow your roll on the good friend part. No, we love it.
From, I guess, TPC, Colorado. He just a pro sports event came right through our backyard today. Great show and looking forward to the next 3 days. And it's a wonderful picture. The golf course and a lake and the mountains. I said, well, somebody's enjoying retirement.
Yeah, must be nice.
Never fails to remind us how much he's enjoying his retirement.
Yeah.
Good for him, then.
Yep,
Good for him.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'd say to everybody, this is a great weekend to come out because there's so many Kansas City people here, and of course all the celebrities are here. And I will say I would come out sooner rather than later because it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and at some point it's going to get so big that like the people aren't going to be out and about amongst the commoners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They you could still see them. Like if you're out in the casinos, you'll still see all the guys roaming around, playing some gambling some money or getting a drink at the bar or, doing whatever. You still see it. But I think at some point, my fear is that at some point it kind of outgrows this area. I don't think it will. I think you'll just have people staying in Carson City and coming up over the mountain every day.
Right.
But, it's a pretty impressive. I mean, every year they do it a little bit better and you think, oh man, this doesn't get any better. And then they do it a little bit better.
Well, it's good. They feel comfortable there. I mean, celebs and the like that they can go out, almost like the England soccer team going out to places here in Kansas City. They feel like they can go out and be, go to Top Golf or wherever and just play with the masses and not have to.
Did they do that?
I don't think Top Golf, but now I think about but they did go to a golf course and just regular they didn't have to clear the course or anything. They just went out and played.
If they don't wear a bunch of England gear,
you wouldn't know.
The soccer players are about the most average-looking guys amongst any big-time athletes out there. So, you come over here, there'd be some EPL fans, and there's more than people probably think. They'd be like, oh, my God, that's Jude Bellingham. Oh, my God, that's Harry Kane. Harry Kane's probably the most recognizable one off that roster.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it would be that would be probably fun for them because they're such stars. They're all big league stars that they can't go anywhere in their country.
Right. When it's all said and done, I'll be interested to hear some of the things that they did and what they were able to do in and around Kansas City. The teams that base camped here, England and Argentina. I know Messi obviously couldn't go out and about, but Netherlands. I imagine there's some interesting stories about them interacting with people in town and those people not knowing who they're interacting with.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There's also some people I may know that are working there that their fathers told them who they all are. And,
okay.
Now they've been wise and have not been like, you're so-and-so, but it's like, all right, honey, who'd you see? Bellingham and Harry Kane. And, it's been fun to hear some of the folks, because people have to work over there for the things that they're doing.
Sure.
And they were all told, listen, this is how we handle this. This is what we do. But it's been really cool, I think, for the people working over there. And I have heard that I have not, I will tell you, I'm not saying that there hasn't been somebody who was a jerk, but I have not heard from the people I know that, have someone that is working and helping support that. I have not heard a story of like, oh yeah, that guy's an ass. I haven't heard one of those stories.
No, I haven't either. I have not. Maybe we'll hear of something like that, but nothing's popped up on social media that I've seen.
No, they've been pretty impressive. So, yes, we got one more match. Are you sad, Blair?
Not sad. Happy that it's happened, and so far without any kind of problem, big issue, except for the people who try to go to the first game, who got stuck in traffic, who were abandoning their cars on Raytown Road. Could tell you there was, problems for the first game when it came to the traffic, but they got that cleaned up for the next game and pretty much have solved that problem. And I think it's gone off pretty well for Kansas City. And they've had some incredible games and some wonderful events. That Orange Walk down Grand, the day of the Netherlands game was spectacular, and the Algerian relationship with Lawrence has been a great story. That sort of an organic story here, and and to have Messi play here twice, how fortunate is that for Kansas City to have, in a World Cup that's been where the stars have really come out, the Kanes and, Holland and Mbappe, we got one too, and it's been great.
If they win, it'll be fun to see how many different quarterbacks have fewer wins at Arrowhead than Messi.
That's right. There will be many visiting quarterbacks.
Many.
Yep. Because he's going for three, right? Three victories at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
That's a good note.
Yeah. I
I'm good for one a week.
Say it again for anyone who missed it.
I think if they win, and even if they don't, but really if they win, it'd be fun to look back and see how many starting quarterbacks have fewer wins at Arrowhead than Messi.
Well, isn't one of them Derek Carr?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, he already has more victories than Carr, right?
I think Carr only won the one game where they did the bus trip around the building. That was a joke when they won the first one. Was Messi? Is the Argentinian team going to take a bus tour around the stadium? Probably not.
Yeah. That is a pretty good way to put it. It's almost as good as the. It's almost. I had to say thank you to somebody. Sorry. It's almost as good as the Andy Reid has more wins at the Raiders Stadium than any Raiders coach.
Yeah. And they have one more postseason win there than the Raiders. The entire.
They have one more postseason win there than the Raiders, and so does Oklahoma.
Yes.
Like Oklahoma's played there like 2 or 3 times or something. I
So
can't remember if
good.
it's Oklahoma or Alabama. There's like multiple college, all the college teams that have played. Like they played a playoff game there, or I can't remember what it was, or maybe it was a bowl game. Or no, I know what it was. I'm sorry. That was Oklahoma has more postseason wins in the Jerry Dome than the Cowboys.
Wow. Somebody had one about MetLife that some team had who won there has as many wins in that stadium as in the postseason as the Jets and Giants combined.
Oh God, yeah.
One.
Isn't that everybody? Do they
Just
have
about,
a win in
yeah.
that stadium?
Jets don't. Giants have one.
Oh my God. Oh my God! But I do think it is true right now. I think Andy Reid has more wins in that building than any Raiders head coach.
That's unbelievable. That's
It's
remarkable.
insane.
I mean, because however many years the building's been open, he's won every one of them, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, hasn't
no,
lost there.
They did lose. Didn't they
Did
lose
they?
last season? Didn't they? Wasn't that the regular season finale?
Oh, that's right. To get yeah, but he won every other one, plus he has the Super Bowl win.
Yes, that's right.
Plus, he has the Super Bowl win.
Right. I think it's up to 5 or 6.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but that's it. It's like 5 or 6. It's not 20.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
it's not a 40-year career where a Bears coach went into Lambeau and throttled them every year or something. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
They keep bringing in great coaches from 2010 and they don't win.
You know what I say? What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
You know, what could go wrong? But it's all fixed now. Now they've got it figured out. They got a guy who hasn't coached in a single place for more than 1 year for like 5 or 6 years. Isn't that the deal with Clint Kubiak?
I think that's the case.
Which I mean, if they were all forward progressions, you'd be like, okay. But some of them are. Let me look this up.
One nice thing about Clint Kubiak is when you spell his name properly, it is literally the only name that pops up.
It goes in and goes, no, it's a K, dumbass. Like it just did for me because I spelled Clint with a C and it's K.
Yeah.
Because aren't all Gary Kubiak's kids KK too?
Probably.
I think I saw, if you look up Gary Kubiak, I think I saw like, oh, here are his kids, and they all their names here.
This is the 6th different place he's worked in 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Minnesota in 21, Denver in 22, San Fran in 23, New Orleans in 24, Seattle last year, Raiders this year.
Yikes.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought I saw something. Maybe I got in. I looked at. Maybe I was looking at Clint Kubiak because I'm not seeing it here on the.
He has a.
But I thought I saw
Clay.
somewhere where
there's a Clay and a Klein.
Does he? And they begin with K, right?
Yep. K-L-A-Y.
Okay, I nailed it.
Yep.
I nailed it. I don't know what that means.
When I was in,
I know that I know somebody who the husband and wife have JB initials, and they just fell on the name Jake for their first one and didn't even realize that they were giving him the same initials. And then when they had a daughter, they're like, well, we can only choose a J.
When I was in high school.
I'm like, why? They're like, well, she can't be the only one without JB for the initials. I'm like, she really can.
Yeah. You can do that.
When I was in high school, one of my friends was a girl named Christy Travis, Kristi. Her mom's name was Kathy with a K. She had 4 younger sisters, Cricket, Kim, Casey, and Clover. All 5 K.
And
they kept it rolling. Dad's name was Frank. Ended in a K at least.
And
Christy, Cricket, Kim, Casey, and Clover.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's a commitment.
Yeah, that is a commitment.
Yeah.
We all know the best commitment ever, though, is every one of the kids being named George for George
That's
Foreman.
right.
Well, I mean, I can't just give one kid the honor, so they're all George.
George 1.
Like how, I think it's like different. I think they went with like different middle names, and then they call them all by their middle names or something. But like,
what's crazy is 2 of them are girls. No,
I think that is true.
Is it really?
I think it is.
Funny if they were George and then Georgette.
Yeah, I don't even think it's Georgette. I think they're all George.
Wow.
Let me see.
That's
George.
He's committed to the bit.
Foreman kids names. It's like what we always say. If only
we
had a device
Yes.
that you could look these things up.
My favorite thing
here
that
we
I
go.
do is I'll go to look something up on my phone, and I realize I've got a larger screen with a keyboard attached to it in front of me. I could probably just use that.
Well, that's the second line. Is in like maybe one day they'll make it small enough that we can carry it in our pocket. Okay, here are the sons' names: George Jr., George the Third, quote Monk; George the Fourth, quote Big Wheel; George the Fifth, quote Red; George the Sixth, Little Joey. He does have daughters. He has 7 daughters. They are Miki or Michi, M-I-C-H-I,
Probably
Frida,
Michi,
Natalie, Leola, Isabella, Courtney, and Georgetta. So all the boys, I can't not name them all George, but one of 7 daughters he named Georgetta. The other 6 got their own name.
Nice. Nice.
Prolific.
I'll never have to worry about that.
I mean, is that not the most sexist thing that's ever occurred on planet Earth?
Maybe in the playoffs.
Or a child who's the most favorite of at least half their siblings.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The old Smothers Brothers bit. Dad always did like you best.
I mean, how you go by Mickey and Frida, and you're like, no, now I need a Georgetta. I'm going to get with the program there. And I actually got to interview George Foreman once back in the day. Prince of a man, an absolute prince of a man. So all of this is done in jest. Let's be clear.
Yeah, the second half of his career, if you watch the interviews of him when he was, first coming up, he did not look like it. You would never expect that would be the smiling.
Oh,
hey.
yeah. No, he was the ultimate talk show host or talk show guest.
Yes.
He was always on the evening of the heavyweight champs of that era. He was he had the best personality.
Oh yeah.
You talking about his second part of his career or the first part when he played the bully?
The second part.
Yeah.
Second part. He was big lug, big giant friendly guy. But you're right.
Yeah.
He was the bully.
Yeah. When his first part of his career, though, to Curtis's point, he was Clubber Lang or Mike Tyson. I mean, he was
Yeah, because whenever people say, could Ali have beaten Tyson in his prime, and I go, didn't he kind of do something similar to that? I mean, that's basically what Foreman was and set by around 74.
Yeah, and Zaire.
Yeah, that's.
Until he knocked him down.
I will say this. I mean, when I see
quite as good as Tyson, but he was that kind of fighter.
When I see the video of George Foreman's early career, I mean, he was. Like, when I see him against Muhammad Ali, like, the skill difference was night and day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, George really was just a big guy looking to land one shot.
Yeah.
Heavy hands.
He wasn't really a proficient boxer. And that's all he was in the latter part of his career. But really, that's all he had a chance to do was get you on a knockout.
Well, and it's all he needed to be for most of his career.
The knockout of who did he knock out? I can't remember. Michael Moore? Yeah.
Yeah, he knocked out Michael Moore.
It's kind of a 1-2. It doesn't look like much, but you realize just how heavy those hands were. It knocked him, almost out.
Yeah, and Michael Moore was a blown-up light heavy,
yeah.
or at least cruiserweight, and who clearly did not train well enough. Because I don't know how you go in against a guy who's almost 50 when you're in your 20s and you are not just sticking and moving and making him go all in the ring. I mean, he kind of just stood there and leaned on him. I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't think this is going to work.
Michael Moore. Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We got a lot of college talk there. We'll take a break. We don't want to overload you. Blair Kirkhoff, always brought to you by our friends at Art and Frame Warehouse. You can find them online at framekc.com. Our time here at the American Century Championship brought to you in part by our friends at Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Your parking lot, that's the first impression your customers, your clients get. Make it a great one with Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Visit them online at gannasphalt.com.
The program with Soren Petro.
Our program's going to be more important than any of you. Don't ever think that you're more important than this program.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
As the World Cup rolls on, they roll on at Hen House, giving you a world of flavor. That's right. Check it out. When you get in there, they've got all kinds of world specials that you can juice up your tailgate or juice up your home spread for getting everyone together to watch the big match. Going to be doing some grilling out. Then get back to the meat counter. Get some USDA Choice Certified Hereford beef. The only place you can find it is at your neighborhood Hen House. Raised right in our very own backyards. Trimmed an 1/8-inch trim, not a corner trim like those other guys. Hen House has the best beef anywhere in town. You can get those boneless ribeye steaks, 12 ounces for just $15 each. How about the 85% lean ground round? Perfect for burgers, perfect fat content to make them nice and juicy. $6.99 a pound. It's at your neighborhood hen house. Of course, nobody has a better seafood selection. So if you want to have some seafood, go get it. And the Delicatessen is your place for all the party trays. So if you're celebrating the World Cup, celebrate with Hen House. They got great World Cup gear. They got all kinds of great stuff going on at Hen House. You can even get in there and check out their trophy. It's at your neighborhood Hen House. They've been serving me and my family my entire life. They've been serving Kansas City for over 100 years. Find them online at henhouse.com. See all the specials and more at henhouse.com. Now 100% employee owned. It's your neighborhood Hen House.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update sponsored by Henkel, official partner of U.S. Soccer. Moroccan goalkeeper Yassine Bono, the story of the first half of the quarterfinal against France. 3 saves, including on a penalty kick by Kylian Mbappe. Morocco and France are scoreless at halftime in Foxborough. That's the first time in his World Cup career that Mbappe has missed a penalty kick. Meanwhile, Morocco's first shot didn't come until the final seconds of the half. Winner of this one will take on the winner of tomorrow's Spain-Belgium match in the semifinals. Elsewhere, FIFA giving England's Jarrell Kwanzaa a 2-match ban for his red card against Mexico in the round of 16. So Kwanzaa will miss Saturday's quarterfinal against Norway, and he'd also miss the semifinals should England advance. Again,
All right, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. Who holds the Major League record for stolen bases in a season with fewer than 50 hits? He's the only
Willie Wilson.
Willie James Wilson. 1978.
Let me fess up there. I took about 9 guesses during the break to get there, but I just knew we didn't have that much time.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to. A lot of times I'll just replay my guesses in order and do it. But I did it with Kyle, and I'm like Terrence Gore. It can't be Gore. He didn't get that many. Gerard I said, is it Royal? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, Gerard Dyson. Is it Tyler Tolbert? Is it? And then I got to Willie Wilson.
All good guesses.
Willie Wilson, 1978, 43 hits, 46 stolen bases. By the way, you know who's second on that list? How about Dairon Blanco? 2 years ago, 31 hits, 31 steals.
What was Herb Washington's?
Herb Washington had no hits, 29 steals in 74. What's amazing is 2 years later, Larry Lintz, L-A-N-T-Z, had no hits and 31 steals. They had 2 guys.
So Herb doesn't even have the record.
He didn't even have the record
for
stolen bases with no hits. He didn't even hold the club record for stolen bases with no hits.
They had a strategy in Oakland, and they were sticking to it.
That's just incredible. I had no hits and 29 steals. That's got to be the MLB record. Hell, it ain't even the club record.
Yeah, I love that.
My record didn't last 2 years.
We're talking to Blair Kirchhoff, brought to you by our friends at Art and Frame Warehouse. FrameKC.com, the best when it comes to framing your sports memorabilia. Framing anything, really, but they specialize in framing sports memorabilia. If you're talking about an Olympic torch or, maybe a bat or a ball, those are difficult things to frame. They can do it for you. Go see them at Art and Frame Warehouse, FrameKC.com. Blair, what did you make of the comments of Brett Yormark? Really the lack of comments. I understand the question. All right, I appreciate the question. I can't remember which it was. I think it was appreciate because you'd have to be a dunce to not understand it. I appreciate the question asking about, hey, Texas Tech and all that, but this is not the time or place. We're here to celebrate our football members. It's the Big 12 Media Days. Curtis was great about this. He said, if this isn't the time or place, then change it to the Big 12 football celebration and then get more of your scripted questions, you coward, and just answer whatever foo-foo underling you've put up there to ask you softballs and just leave it at that. And we can stay home. We don't need to pay for a flight to Dallas and hotel for Lebo and go down there if you're not going to answer real questions.
Yeah. I mean, he's standing in front of, 500 media members.
Yeah. The irony, that was the first question asked. The irony is, all right, I'll take some questions. I got a question. Not that one. Next.
Yeah.
What? And there was one. There was a question from someone from Lubbock, who that Yormark told to stand up.
Yeah.
And asked. It didn't have to do with Sorsby. This was a something about. I forgot.
Not going after Cincinnati or something like that.
Something strange.
And that one's blowing up because their 2 guys are sitting off to the side, and both of them are like, "Oh my God!" They're covering their faces like this again.
Right. But that was disappointing by Brett Yormark not to have an answer prepared.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. How could he be taken off guard by that topic? I mean,
I disagree with you, Blair. He prepared that answer.
Yeah, that was his prepared answer.
There's no way he didn't know that was coming.
No, no, that's right.
He was prepared. The answer just sucks.
And
it's cowardly.
Had he just gone no comment, that's one thing. What rankled me was what he said after that.
Curtis, I won't even let him off the hook on that. That sucks too. Listen, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that is bad. What further rankled me though was the comment about this is a celebration of the schools and the athletes. That's what sent me like. Well, then just let us go home then.
Right.
Well, and I can't remember where I read it. But somebody has the report that he had a meeting with Texas Tech people to the way the reporting went was that to mend the fences.
Right. Right.
I object to that.
Yeah.
How about he had a meeting with Texas Tech to kick their ass? Okay. He had a meeting with Texas Tech to lay down the law.
Yeah. To
mend the fences makes it sound like it's a marital spat where it's like, hey, you work too much. Hey, but I got to work because we got a lot of bills, Right. Hey, both sides had a point, right? But, they got to try to work through it. My ass. Texas Tech was completely wrong. They deserve to be punished, not admonished.
Yeah.
They deserve to be punished. And to go there, to me, this shows a sign of weakness from him. There's no leadership. And I will tell you, frankly, well, I've heard from people, I don't know, maybe Shahan Jayaraj is later going to tell us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Is later going to tell us that listen, we already talked to him. Okay.
Wink,
it's
wink,
not
nudge,
easy to put
nudge.
the show on from Lake Tahoe, people.
Yeah.
So, not everything's live. It sounds like it. We lie to your face. Not everything's live. These guys don't just come over here one right after another. We sit here from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. That's how this works. But anyway, I taped Shahan already, and he said that he talked to other schools that liked that Brett Yormark did that. And I was like, and I said, okay, I'll come back to that. But that's its own disaster. Like, what is wrong? That to me feels like, well, our only chance as a conference is to get some teams in, and our best chance to get a team in, and our only chance to get 2 in is if Texas Tech's really good, somebody else can play tough or put 1 loss on them, and then maybe we'll back-ass a second team in there. And so we don't want to upset Texas Tech. I mean, I cannot stress how many times do the rest of the members of this league have to go around kissing the ass of a couple of schools only to have them walk on them anyway? I mean, listen, you're you're in a relationship. They've been cheating on you for years. They finally are gone. Now you've somebody else. Oh, they're cheating on me again. Well, God, I don't want you to leave me. No, it's inevitable. Like, they're gone. They are, and Shahan said, listen, they're all gone. He said, if the Kansas gets a Big Ten deal, they're gone.
Of course.
And he's like, so they all get it. Okay, I got that. And, I didn't have time because I push it for quite a while with Shahan, and he does a great job of staying above the fray. But I cannot stress how much, like, however long they're here, they need to play by the rules. They need to be
that's right.
They need to be
a member of
part of the group.
Right, a member of the Big 12. And these are the rules of the Big 12. And if Yormark had said something like that, he didn't have to throw Texas Tech under the bus by answering the question. He basically could have reread his statement that he put out a few weeks ago. That was the sort of the final answer to this. This is what the conference agreed to, and this is what's going to happen. And thank Tech for working with them to find a solution to this. He didn't. He could have answered the question really without answering the question, but at least established a public position on it, as he had in his statement. But no, he instead wanted to. I don't think he was intending to embarrass whoever asked the question, but I would have felt embarrassed if I was the reporter asking that question.
And to keep going,
I wouldn't.
But thank you for the question. I really appreciate it. I mean, how smarmy is that?
Well, and I really wish, and I think
saying, I appreciate the question.
Yeah. Let me say this: when you're in those moments, ask the question and don't let go of the mic.
Well, that's right. I'm
not saying you have to do that on every question. You don't do it on every question.
No.
But you hold on, and they're going to try to grab it from you as soon as you're done and get over someplace else. And you hold it, and you hold it away, and you put one finger up, not stiff arm them, but you put it on the other side of your body, and you go, hang on, I got a follow-up. Because if he skates the question, you've got to be like, well, when is the time?
Yeah.
If not now, then when is the time? And so that's the only thing I'll say about the reporters.
And will you be available to talk to me then?
Yeah, and especially here moving forward. He's a coward and he's not going to answer anything. Okay, so you know that. So when there are questions that have to be asked, and that one had to be asked, you need to be prepared as a reporter to hold that mic off to the opposite way from whoever the handler is who's trying to get it. Be like, I'm going to have a follow-up. And everybody in that room wants to hear the follow-up, too. So you're not doing anyone a disservice. And if there's some hump beat writer wants to be like, how neat are the new logos for Monster Energy? Screw you. Like,
right.
This is the big boy stuff that has to be asked. And I can't stress enough. I think this to me is like the sign that they're all rats off a sinking ship. And, it to me is also a sign of, well, what's best for us right this second, not what's best for the big picture. I mean, and I don't know what the rest of these ADs are thinking. If they actually, maybe they just said that to be loyal soldiers, but whoever said that, no, I'm glad. We didn't want this whole thing to become about Texas Tech. Well, you made it that by not answering it. Because if you just said, listen, it's a difficult situation. We understand what Texas Tech was saying, but if you gamble on sports, there are going to be penalties. We are the office. We will hand down those penalties. It's in our bylaws that you will obey by those penalties. I'm glad we were able to get this resolved. I'm quite optimistic that next time it will not go to this degree that it did, but Texas Tech is a member in good standing, you know? And here we move. And then it all goes away. But now we talk about it more.
Right. And he didn't apparently understand that all of college sports supported him in this.
Yes.
He had the backing of, if he's worried about, well, we got to appease Texas Tech and not try to embarrass him publicly. Nobody in college sports wanted this to play out. Agreed with Texas Tech and the way the Red Raiders wanted it to play out. So,
It's because he's not a commissioner. He's a salesman. He's a brand manager. We'll talk more about that part of the equation with Blair Kirchhoff next. We're live at the American Century Championships here in Lake Tahoe. Blair, always brought to you by our friends at Art and Frame Warehouse.
The program with Soren Petro.
What do you think is coursing through my veins right now?
Cheese Whiz. Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Listen, if you're in the market for an RV, there's only one place. Well, really two places to go. Unlimited RV, 2 locations in Independence, 4400 North Cobbler Road, and out at the Lake of the Ozarks, 12 Hauser Road, right there in Eldon, Missouri. Unlimited RV is a great place to go. They're locally owned and operated, veteran-owned as well. Nationally, top 50 RV dealer. That's right, 3 years in a row, top 50 RV dealer, and 4 out of the last 5. Listen, that recognition is based on customer service scores, not sales volume, but they do that as well. Listen, you get a lifetime warranty on all new campers. A lifetime warranty on used campers that are 2 years old or newer. Find anyone else that'll beat that. 4.7-star Google rating, with over 900 reviews. Like I said, master technicians as well when it comes to any kind of service work that you need. That's right, the very best technicians you're going to find at Unlimited RV. Kansas City's #1 selling RV dealership is Unlimited RV. Why would you go anywhere else? Josh and his team are absolutely fantastic to work with. Great customer service and a great product as well. So if you're ready to get it on the road, if you're ready to get the vacations going, then go to Unlimited RV. Find them online right now at unlimitedrv.com. That's unlimitedrv.com. Remember, a 4.7-star Google rating. That's unheard of on over 900 reviews. Happy customers in great RVs. That's what you get at Unlimited RV. Find them online today at unlimitedrv.com.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more.
All right, wrapping things up here with Blair Kirchhoff. We're going to talk with Shahan Jeyarajah in our next hour. We will get some more college football talk going at that point. Talking about it with Blair Kirchhoff now as we're live at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe, brought to you by American Century Investments, directing 40% of its dividends to medical research, a global investment manager. You can give them a call if you need any investing. You can also be a part of their fantasy golf. Go to ACCFantasyGolf.com. I have my squad. I will reveal it tomorrow. I like it. I think I'm going to be a winner. Blair, tell me this. The selling of the logos. First of all, I don't think that the selling of the logo is like, oh, well, he sold the logos. Yeah, like, okay. Like, we didn't know that's on every, like, professional sports jersey out there.
Right.
Like, that's not new. So congratulations for getting it done. But, you know, like, I'm not giving a whole lot of credit for what was the obvious next step.
Yeah, you're right. It's been happening in several other sports. It's actually kind of surprising it hasn't happened before now. But not just the league wide one, as you mentioned earlier, the Monster Energy, but now we know Kansas and with its cryptocurrency, and Oklahoma State is involved, and I think you're going to see this on every college jersey this year. I think it's going to happen. Sure. It's going to happen quickly now. Now that the barrier has been broken on this, you're going to see everybody cash in on it, and it's a good idea.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So they're going to get $1 million per school out of this Monster Energy thing.
Yeah, that's right.
I am hearing from people in and around college football that a long snapper is costing $200,000 to $300,000. So what have they really accomplished?
That's.
I mean,
not a lot.
If rosters are 40 or 50 million, and you got a whole $1 million per school is all you got out of this.
Yeah, there's some talk that it was undersold. That the Big 12 didn't get as much out of it as it could have. Yeah.
All right, Ricky Henderson is a career leader in caught stealing. Who is second? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
to him that maybe has an advantage having been there before over the other first-year head coaches?
I don't know about that, but it was good. Brings back some memories for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. It's a little different when you're the coach, though, right? You know, watch what you say a little bit. In today's world, I mean, listen, you're not an old man, but in 2010, 11, or whatever, social media was kind of brand new. Anymore, you say something around anywhere, it's going to pop up all over the world.
Right?
Are you ready for that kind of stuff? I mean, you were down there at A&M when the spotlight is on it. Are you ready to kind of be a part of that entire madness that is the social media in college football?
Yeah, I think so. I think, like you said, I mean, I think social media was just kind of coming on the scene as I was a player and starting quarterback. Obviously, you're under a pretty high level of scrutiny as well. So, but no, it's a great deal. It's a great way to help spread our message and to our fans and our media, and so excited about it.
I want to talk to you about your team, but I also just want to talk to you about just like kind of the changes in college football, right? You were a high-level player in this league at this school, and it wasn't 40 years ago. I mean, you're a young head coach here, but so much stuff has changed since you played in the transfer portal, NIL, building your rosters, all that. But you've gotten to be a part of it as an assistant coach. So you've kind of seen how this has all gone. It's not all brand new to you, but are we in a good place right now with college football compared to when you played?
Well, I think there's probably even two different windows to look at. I mean, when I played was a completely different era, a completely different landscape. I think even in the last 5 years, things have changed so much more. I think the margins to compete and be able to find edges has increased. I think with all the variabilities in the roster, I think it creates a lot of opportunity, quite honestly. And I think more of an avenue to compete and build and help position yourself to have a competitive advantage. And I think that's a really great thing. I think, your question of, are we in a good place in college football? I think that's a pretty broad question. I think there's a lot of things that are great about it. I think there's a lot of great opportunities for players and for programs to, like I said, find margin and compete. Are there things that, in this growth process that you'd like to see different? Sure. But, at the end of the day, I don't know if there's a better time in college football from a exposure standpoint, a popularity standpoint, a parity standpoint, and I think those are great for the game.
For a kid, I've always said the last 4 or 5 years, there's no better time to be a kid in college football because you can get paid and you have a lot. You should not have any power. You were kind of stuck at a school or whatever. Now you can just do whatever. Now, as a 56-year-old guy, I don't like a lot of those things. Right. I like my guys to be at my school. I went to the school. I want them to choose the school because I chose the school, all those kind of things. But it's also a lot to put on someone who's 18, 19, 20 years old to make these huge life choices about, should I chase this dollar here? Should I stay with this coach I like here? All those kind of things. And now you've got 100 of them. It's not like basketball where you may have 15 guys you're dealing with. And you're brand new to this part, being a head coach. How big has this job become with managing all of those things and trying to help those guys make those decisions at the same time when they got a lot of people in their ears?
Yeah, I think the amount of hats that you wear, even in a course of a couple hours, is a lot, right? And you go from contract negotiator to obviously talent evaluator to coach and the X's and O piece. You're still building culture. You're still building relationships. But I think that's the exciting thing. I mean, no day is exactly like the previous, and there's a lot of opportunities to impact people, to build genuine relationships, and I think amongst all the big picture changes that have happened, I think the roots of our game, the roots of college football are still that and are still very, very good of team, genuine relationships, trying to better yourself in every aspect of your life. And those are all great things.
You're in a very unique, I don't like to say very unique, you're unique because you can only be unique. I got a friend who gets mad when we ever say very unique, but you played for Bill Snyder, Ron Prince, coached with Chris Kleiman. I mean, you are the K-State guy, right?
Yeah.
And then you left and you coached other places as well. You know, and you're probably going to change a lot over your time as a head coach. But when you sit here right now, you're going to get ready to coach your first game or have your first fall camp coming up. Where are you drawing it all from? I mean, you know, you've got so many great coaches and interesting experiences to do that from. What do you think your team, your stamp is going to be?
Well, I think every one of those guys that you mentioned, and I'm so blessed to have been a part of each one of their programs in a couple different roles, right? I mean, being able to be a player for Coach Snyder, a coach for Coach Snyder, a position coach for Coach Kleiman, a coordinator for Coach Kleiman, then going down to Texas A&M with Coach Elko, like the Lord prepares you for your journey every step of the way, and I think that's what He's done for me. Every one of those guys, I think one of the best things about them is they're themselves, and they're very secure in their own identity and who they are, and so I think that's something that I strive to be. But then when that opportunity comes, you're ready for it. You've been prepared, whether you know it in some areas, maybe you didn't even know it in some others, but I'm just excited to be able to serve our players, serve our program, and carry on a legacy at a place that I care so much about with really two legends that came before me.
We're talking to Colin Klein. He's the new head coach of Kansas State. We're down here at the Big 12 football media days at the Star in Frisco. And, you know, you mentioned you played and coached at Kansas State. Then you kind of had to go experience something else to kind of get back. I don't think when you left you figured you were going to be back at K-State as quickly as you were. Coach Kleiman, you know, had come from, you know, a smaller division and came up and had great success. But I think from things he said here and there, I'm not putting too many words in his mouth, he didn't really like everything about college football, and he didn't want to do this anymore. Were you surprised that you got this opportunity that quickly? Because when you had left Kansas State, things seemed to be just kind of going all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody can predict the future in college football. If you can, you and I need to go to Vegas for sure.
Yeah.
But I think you really have to take it year by year, step by step, and you never know when things are going to happen. Maybe faster than they are, or slower than they are, and you never know where your path is going to go. And so I think that reality for me was part of that move to Texas A&M to say, hey, it's an opportunity to learn, it's an opportunity to grow. The people were right, the opportunity to go in and make a place better was right. And so taking it one step at a time, not knowing that, hey, you're going to be back there after 2 seasons, no way I could have predicted that. But you just take the next right step and give it everything you've got, and the Lord's going to direct the rest.
We talk a lot about the calendar, and they've tried to kind of fix some of these things that happen in the calendar. It couldn't have been easy for you last year to try to be coaching in the playoffs and having people wanting you to get involved with K-State and all that stuff. Transfer portal is a problem at that time, and now they're kind of fixing those things. Are we in a pretty good place with the calendar now on kind of working their way through those things, or there can still be some improvement?
I think there can still be some improvement. I think some of the things that are hopefully on the horizon and that are being discussed, I think, are a really good thing. I think the level of strain it puts on everybody. I mean, your players, coaches trying to do double duty and have split timing of things. With the recruiting situation as it is, like I think there are ways that are going to come here in the next year or two that I think will hopefully streamline it and make it better for everybody.
Yeah, that would, because it is a complicated world now. It really is. To try to make it a little easier, be good. We're talking to Colin Klein. Let's talk a little bit about football, because that's what you're here to coach. You're also in a pretty good spot, because I look at all these lists and like everyone's quarterback was somewhere else, or their quarterback's not here anymore. You've got your quarterback back. You knew him from before, helping recruit him and coach him, and now you've still got him here for his last year. What, from what you've seen so far in the practice field conversations, all that stuff, how is he better than he was when you left to go to A&M a couple years ago?
I think there's no substitute for in-game and live experience, and the amount of starts he's had and been able to have under his belt are a really good thing. I think he's always been and this is going back to even recruiting him in high school, like his steadiness, his calm, his poise, how competitive he is, all of those things are no different. And if anything, have gotten stronger as he's matured and gotten older. I think his processing speed of the game and how he is with that experience has increased since we worked together last. Have been really excited and had a lot of fun through the spring of even just 15 practices, kind of getting through and getting back on the same page in the early phase, being able to think the same way, talk the same language again, and watching that confidence and speed of decision making continue to improve through the rest of the way.
So it's a really good thing to have a senior quarterback, right? I mean, that's pretty good stuff. Yeah. What kind of offense do you envision running with him and with the talent you have on offense?
Well, I think a big emphasis of the spring was strain, finish, and be fundamentally sound. And so I think the identity of our offense is going to take shape into training camp. We've really been very rigorous in building the individual pieces of it. I think 2 weeks into camp, we'll be able to move closer to what we're going to be. We're going to build it around him, and that's something that I definitely believe in. Is anything that we do, we've got to have really, really good reasons for, but then also we got to build around our quarterback and what his strengths are, how he processes things, the family of schemes that he likes the best and that executes the best, and kind of build it from the inside out.
We're getting used to having changes all the time. It's not that long ago that you were coaching in the Big 12, and it's already a different league from when you coached. It's certainly a different league than when you played. Yeah. What do you like about this league, the competition in this league? And, there's been a lot of talk down here the first day about, trying to get 2 teams in the playoff and all those kind of things. Do you think there's enough talent in this league to get that done in today's landscape of college football?
I do. I think, 2 years ago when I left, the margins were thin. I think those have probably even gotten thinner in the last couple of years, and statistically that would show that. I felt the level of variety schematically was probably as difficult as any league that I had watched on tape or then now have experienced somewhere else of the different families of schemes, the variety of game planning that you're having to go against on a week in and week out basis, I think was definitely has kind of stood out to me, that I think lends to that narrow margin, highly competitive league, and that's wide open.
Should be a lot of fun. I'll ask a little bit about your playing career. I don't think I've ever seen anyone who is as tough as you playing. Coach Snyder would run you and run you and run you. And we always heard these stories like you couldn't even practice sometimes during the season because is that true? I mean, were you that beat up?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, there was a couple weeks I didn't throw a ball until Saturday afternoon. But, again, I was getting attention for it. But, I mean, football is a brutal game.
Yeah.
And there's so many guys on the team and in our program on those winning teams that that success was not by accident, and all of those guys of what we were going through together made it pretty easy to go through for them.
You want to have a bunch of guys with that spirit who will do whatever it takes to win the game. You won't know exactly what you've got until you probably get into these games and do that, but does it feel like you've got a bunch of guys who will practice and play the way you did? Because I think you had a bunch of those guys on those teams in 2011, 2012 who did that, and you have to have a lot of them. You can't just have one guy doing like that. Do you feel like you've got that grit, I guess?
Well, I think that is as much a learned trait as it is innate, in my opinion, and I think that's something that can be absolutely cultivated on your team and in our locker room, and something that's been a point of emphasis for us and our staff since we got there in January is trying to make the fire hot enough to draw that out of them so that they're ready. And I think they are embracing that, and it's been fun to watch that take place.
In today's world, you get the fire too hot, like we said, they may just get out. Now, listen, if the fire's too hot, you don't want maybe those players on your team, but you got to have enough players to go do that. So how will you kind of maybe do that balancing act to figure out who's in, who's out, how far can I push it?
I've heard it said a couple times by a couple different people. I don't know if I believe in balance. Like, I don't like we're going to do it the right way. That fire is going to be really friggin' hot, and if they can't handle it, then there are enough guys that can, and we will find the right ones. So I'm not worried about that.
How excited are you for walking out your very first time at Bill Snyder Family Stadium as the head coach? What do you think you're going to feel that night?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still remember the first time I ran out as a player versus North Texas, and still get chills down my spine. So it's going to be an unbelievable experience. We need the days to slow down because we got a lot of work to do to get ready for that day. But
calendar doesn't stop, does it?
No, it don't. But excited about it, and we'll be ready to go.
Awesome. Colin Klein, head coach of K-State, congratulations on getting the job back where you played and coached, and best of luck this fall. Can't wait to watch you guys play.
Well,
Gonna love it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that is K-State head coach Colin Klein with Todd Lebo down at Big 12 Media Days from yesterday. We'll take a break. We're here at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe. Our coverage brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things pavement. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com.
The program with Soren Petro.
I'm not that bright. You know, I mean, I get it done at work, but it's kind of a simple gig.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Listen, if you got that special jersey of that special quarterback, or maybe that beautiful World Cup jersey, and you want to display it in your man cave at your office, then you got to get to Art and Frame. They're Kansas City's best when it comes to framing sports memorabilia. Like autographed jerseys, they're a little bit complicated. Yeah, some people do it. It'll look kind of crappy, I don't know, with wrinkles and everything. Maybe not displaying the patches properly. Art and Frame always make sure to display the item perfectly and with a perfect background. That's right, colors that match, all kinds of different options, all kinds of different textures. Museum glass, so it cuts down on the glare. UV protect. Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Of course, our coverage is brought to you by our friends at Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Your parking lot is the first impression customers get. Make it a great one with Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com. We welcome Sean Jayaraja from CBS Sports, fresh off the Big 12 Media Days. He joins us here in the program. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing well. I think the weather's probably a little better up there than it is here in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, not too bad. We're getting highs like in the upper 70s. We've got overnight lows in the mid 40s. So it's like crisp and fresh and feels great when you first get up in the morning because it's still chilly at night, and then beautiful warm sunshine during the day. Yes, it's not a bad place to be plying whatever craft you ply here in Lake Tahoe. How was Frisco, Texas this time of year? Is it as beautiful as ever for the Big 12 Media Days?
Yeah, so I went to an event after the first day of Media Days ended, and just like the 0.2-mile walk between locations, I was covered in sweat. It was like 99 degrees, but it was a great event as always. We missed you out there certainly, but it's always fun to get everybody together.
It is, and I think they do a really good job of it. Let's dive right in. I am not a fan. I'll just be blunt. Not a fan of the comments of Brett Yormark saying now is not the time to talk about the Brendan Sorsby case in Texas Tech, that we're here to celebrate our teams. Then call it the Big 12 football celebration. Don't call it the Big 12 Media Days, right? And don't have media people ask questions. Go ahead and have your usual scripted questions from whoever person's on your payroll, which he did when he first got the commissionership role, and don't pretend to be transparent. I mean, I thought it was embarrassing that he just completely sidestepped the whole Texas Tech thing. I think it shows a lack of leadership, and I have new doubts about the future of the conference based upon the fact that he is running from, the subject. It says to me that, yeah, Texas Tech stood down, but the Big 12 didn't win. Texas Tech just said it's time to get on, and I don't think that the commissioner or the Big 12 has control of its schools right now after he makes that kind of statement and just completely runs from it. Am I wrong on that? Do you see it the same way? What's your reaction to that?
Well, I definitely would say I've mixed opinions on it, right? I think that, like you said, I mean, if this isn't the time to address it, I don't know when he's going to claim the time exactly is to address it. And, I mean, I think the answer is probably never. I will say, too, after talking to people around the building, this wasn't a call that he made alone. This was something where he talked to a lot of the other schools and all this sort of stuff, and ultimately decided, you know what, it's not in our best interest to ponder on it, because I think that, the thought was certainly that this entire day and this entire event could turn into being about that one thing. Now, again, I think that at the same time, like, you have to be accountable. I think that you also have to be transparent, and especially in this way, in this moment, he wasn't. But I think that, whether this is a good thing or not, I think that the other 15 schools were pleased, and honestly Texas Tech as well, that he didn't necessarily sit and ponder on it either.
I'm with you. I think you can come out with a statement, and then I think you can answer the questions. And if you answer all the questions at that event, then you don't have to answer anymore. But now it lingers. Now it continues to be something that you can ask. Well, you said it wasn't the time then. Is the time now? He kept it alive. This is stupid, dumb, flat out dumb PR by him. And the part that is kind of soaked into me here over the last couple of days since he said those comments is the fact that, first of all, if the other schools are like that, why? I mean, you cannot have Texas Tech blatantly said, we're not following your rules. If one of your business partners does that, they have to be punished, they have to be held accountable, or you are now their bitch, okay? And that's how I view what occurred here moving forward, because there's no way. I do want to dig deeper into it. I think it's great information. You said that other schools actually liked it, because I can't possibly fathom why. But this just says to me that Texas Tech is the new Texas. Right? That they now Texas Tech's spending the money, and we got to get into the playoffs, and they're our best chance, so let's not upset Texas Tech, because in 2030, 2031, they might leave. That's what I see. If that's their reaction, is to just let it go, and Texas Tech really pays no penalty whatsoever. I mean, not even like not even like a tongue lashing, or not even like, listen, we have rules here, you got to follow them. Like, I don't know how they could be anything beyond, let me back to being why Nebraska and Missouri left back in the day.
Well, I think that from their perspective, and again, you can agree or disagree, and I have complicated feelings about it, but I think that their perspective is, Texas Tech lost the actual interaction in a lot of ways, right? Where, again, one, they were actually pressured to the point of having to change course. Like, that was something that Texas and Oklahoma didn't necessarily ever have to do. There wasn't really a time when the other 10 schools were truly able to stand up to Texas and Oklahoma and completely get them to abandon something that they were trying to do. I think that they feel like we have a lot more leverage and a lot more power against Texas Tech than we ever had against Texas or Oklahoma. So we don't need to necessarily exert the same level of public power as we did maybe in those previous cases. And look, I mean, I think that the perspective there too is that, man, we went out there and we proved, and our statement was the injunction that was filed that completely shut this thing down. Again, I think that there's pros and cons to that. I think that, there's good and bad to that. But I think that they feel like, at least in their world, that Texas Tech